I'm muted. There we go. What's up, people? What's going on? Bigger Ford in the house with my man Phil Melidis in here. How you doing, brother? You doing good?
Doing good, man.
Excellent, excellent. What's up, Poe is in the house. Just B for now. What's up? How you doing, brother? Glad you can make it. So Blasted is in the house. What up, Blasted? How you doing? And we are going to talk some Suicide Squad here, and we're probably going to spoil the shit out of the movie, guys. So if you ain't see it, you might not want to watch this, but I hope you did see it, man. Doing good, man. Glad you could pop in, man. Um, Tony Robinson is in the house. What's good on Zone Film? How you doing? Roadblock popped in. LDG. Oh, LDG is there. Hey, LDG, man. Did you watch it yet? Do you want in? Mara's in the house as well. Thank you guys for popping in. If anybody's seen it and wants to pop in, man, and talk about it, come true. Just let me know. I'll send you the link on Twitter and we can get this started. So Phil Melidis, first off, talk to the people. Tell them about yourself, sir.
Yeah, I'm the film elitist. I talk about movies with my homies here on the YouTube channels. I have my own channel, but I'm not really doing much with that right now. You can follow me on Twitter at elitist film, and you'll see me on Anzo's channel and all the other people that we stream with. So excited to be here, man.
Excellent. Glad you can help. Can glad you could make it. And first question, Poe, is my question: why people hate this new Suicide Squad so much? I don't understand it. Me and Phil Melidis were actually talking about that in the background, and there is a lot of hate for this movie, and I personally don't get it either. I thought the shit was fucking hilarious. It was well done. The action was good. I think the R rating really worked for this movie. What do you think, Phil?
I totally agree, man. I think if I had to guess, some of the hate is from loyalists to like certain aspects of the DC Snyderverse, and then there's some people that are just loyal to Marvel and don't want to admit any DC movie is good. But I fucking thought it was a blast, man.
Absolutely. And we'll get into some of the things. What did you like about the movie the most?
Honestly, I liked how it weaved in multiple levels of storytelling and executed them all. Like there was some political stuff going on. There was like humanized characters that I cared about. There was amazing action that I hadn't seen in a comic book movie in a while. It just succeeded on multiple levels, dude.
Absolutely. And for me, you're correct. I liked the characters as well in this movie. I thought it was really good. Poe said it's diehard Snyder and MCU fans who hate it. Job said that. Poe said if this movie was PG-13, it would not have been as good as it was. I agree with you 100%. I've said that. I said the R rating really worked for this movie, man, because the minute they hit that island and yo, that dude's face got ripped off, I was like, oh shit, yes, this is what I'm talking about. I
Yeah,
personally seen the movie 3 times already. So
that dude's
um
brain was showing, man.
you
When
know what I mean? Yo, it
yeah,
was it was pretty dark too. A lot of people like, oh, it wasn't too dark, but it was dark, man. There was a lot of things that were dark in this movie. They literally killed innocent people when they went into that town
yep.
to rescue Rick Flag. Um, you guys know about me. I really, when it comes to comedy in these movies, if it's too much, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't take it. And if you watch my spoiler review, I'm literally saying, I'm like, holy shit. Like the jokes in this movie are nonstop. But the reason why I didn't have an issue with it is because they hit for me. So what did you think about all the jokes in the movie?
That was honestly the one part I wasn't super blown away with blown away by, but it didn't bother me. It wasn't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a movie that James Gunn also did, right? And that
Mm-hmm.
movie annoys the shit out of me with the humor cuz like I don't the humor's so bad in it. I just thought in this movie I didn't laugh a lot, but I wasn't bothered by it. And when it did work, I really liked it. Like when Peacemaker and Bloodsport were bouncing off each other was pretty fun. There was a lot of silly stuff that happened with like Polka Dot Man seeing his mom.
Mm-hmm.
That it was goofy, man, but it was like you said, it was kind of dark, kind of absurd. So I was digging it. It was all right with me.
So the jokes didn't hit with you?
Yeah, like I was like, but not in a way that annoyed me. So I was cool
Okay.
with it.
G Major sent a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. He said, "What up, though? Like the first movie better." Um, we're gonna get into that. We're definitely gonna get into that because I hear a lot of people saying that they like the first movie better, and I'm sorry, I just don't see how or why. So if you want to explain in the chat why you think it's better, no problem. I'll definitely listen to you, but I will explain to you why I think it's better later on in the show for sure. So Elitist, who is your favorite character?
I know maybe people will say like, "Oh, you're simping" or whatever, but honestly, I loved Ratcatcher too, dude.
Hmm.
Um, and my reason for that, and I talked about it a little bit with Pickle and Ashley and Mike on Ashley's stream. Um, I thought that was the first time in a long time I saw a strong female character that wasn't like a stereotype. She wasn't like it wasn't about her like showing her titties and her ass, and she wasn't like saying like sassy one-liners. She was this sweet girl that had this grounded story about the way she was raised with her dad, and she was the heart and soul of the movie, man. Like the way it all wrapped up in the end. I loved her, dude. I loved her like convictions. I loved her story, and I just loved that like she was wanting to be friends. She saw the good in everybody. Like she saw the good in King Shark. She saw the good in Bloodsport. I just loved the whole thing with her dad and just the way it worked and with the rats and how they were like outcasts and stuff. I loved it, man.
Okay, cool. For me, you were 100% correct. She is the heart and soul of the movie. I just thought her acting wasn't that great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when I watched it again, I was like, man, her acting could be a lot better. But you're right. Her character is definitely the heart and soul of this movie. My favorite character in the movie is it's Amanda Waller, man. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I and I'll say this right now is what happens at the end when she gets hits over the head and then doesn't kill those people. I was very disappointed with that. I'm like, that doesn't seem like what Manda Waller would do. She would have wiped them fuckers out, right? But
Right.
her acting when her and Idris Elba are going at each other and she's like, stand down, it that scene is amazing to me. And then the last scene where she's about to kill them and she's just yelling at these dudes, I thought that was well done. So for that,
Yeah.
I give her the top billing for me just for her acting performance in those two
W-
scenes.
What I loved about this movie, and I don't want to go on a long like we'll get into it more, I'm sure, but we've talked a lot about like diversity and stuff. We have all these,
Hmm.
conversations about it. I love that they let a black woman just be a bad bitch like that. Like, just she's just
Hmm.
a villainous, cunning, like politically motivated, like government agent, man. Just and she killed that shit. I agree with you. She was fantastic in this movie.
Absolutely. That's why to me, she should have wiped them fucking dudes out at the end. Like when they hit her over the head, when we went back to that scene, they should have all just been dead, and she should have just been standing there with her gun out. That scene would have been like, okay, that's Amanda Waller. But I don't know. They're saying that she could possibly kill them in other movie or in the next movie, which yeah, it's possible. But I just think that like from what I seen from the first one, she wouldn't hesitate to fucking kill, and I think she would have wiped them out.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think she would have done it if they didn't hit her over the head. It was just like those other people, they had had enough, I guess. It
No,
made sense to me, but like, yeah.
no, I mean the other people, the ones that were
Oh,
working for
oh,
her.
that we're
I
working
think,
for
yeah,
her.
yeah, she should have killed them. I thought Manda Waller was gonna kill them.
She did
She
shoot a
should.
look at them in the end, though.
Yeah, I know, but a look, because in the first one, right? She anybody that knew about it, she wiped them all out. Bam, bam, bam. So I was expecting when they went back to that scene that everybody in that room was gonna be dead.
Maybe that was
That's
part of the deal that Bloodsport made with her. It would have been better if
I,
they explained that way.
right, exactly. Like when he said that nobody dies, he meant nobody, even the ones that helped him. That would
Right.
have made more sense to me than I've been like, okay, you got her by the balls there, right? But for me, that was her performance was great. Next performance, I would have to put Bloodsport. I thought his performance was really good.
Yeah, acting wise, him and Amanda Waller were probably the two best acting performances in the movie.
I agree, 100%. Post said Polka Dot Man was my favorite character in the movie. Hated when he died. And you know what? I'm going to say this, to be honest with you. I thought Polka Dot Man was gonna be the one character that I was gonna fucking hate the most. From the trailers, I was just like, first off, his name is Polka Dot Man. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? Like, really? And then in the trailers, he's like, oh, I want to die, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna hate this character. But I actually thought he was really good, man. And the way
Yeah,
his polka dots worked, so good.
yeah, for sure. And it was cool how they played it as a joke when they first were like, "So what do you throw polka dots at people?" And he was just
Right.
like, "Yeah." But yeah, he was my second favorite character. I agree with Poe, man. I was so upset when he died. It was one of my only like, oh damn, I wish they wouldn't have done that. You know?
You know what my thing is? It's not that I was even upset that he died. It's just I seen it a mile away. The minute he was like, "I'm a superhero now," I was like, "Boom,
Yeah,
he's dead," right away.
right.
And I knew it was gonna happen. So I think he should have like did his death in a different way. But I was just like, man, that didn't catch for me.
Yeah.
Um, I love the fact that they just fucking, especially the first. You said the first 10 minutes of the movie, we were like, eh. I love the first 10 minutes, man. When they hit that fucking island and they're just dying, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking. I was invested right away. What did you think about the first 10 minutes?
So the only problem I had with it was like that was, n- I g- okay. So here's the thing, right? Once those guys were gone, that team, I was happy. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cool the way they killed everybody and stuff, and it was kind of funny. It's just I was having a really hard time seeing it on HBO Max, and I had to like adjust my TV because it was really dark and stuff.
Okay.
Um, and so that was part of the problem. And then it was also that I was worried that was gonna. I didn't know that was like not the team we were gonna get. I thought Pete Davidson and all those guys were gonna stick around. So they were like really annoying me on that helicopter, and it reminded me of Deadpool 2 a little bit too as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's really not that big of a deal. You know, that wasn't the worst part of the movie when I think back on it.
For me, the minute they had them together and they all did the walk in front of the American flag, I was like, "Oh, these guys are dead." I'm like, I knew they were gonna die, right? Like, I'm like,
Mhm.
first off, because there's no Idris Elba in that picture. I can't remember if Harley Quinn was in that picture. I don't think so, right? So I'm like, Rick Flag was really the only one that was there, and I was like, okay, everybody in this thing is gonna die, and
Yeah, it
then
was Rick Flag and Harley Quinn were the only ones that made it.
right, and then she was in that scene though, right, where they did the walk
Yeah,
in
yeah,
front of the flag. Harley Quinn was there. Okay. I couldn't remember. Um, yeah. So another thing about that scene is when they were jumping in the water and the weasel drowned. I don't know.
oh yeah,
I found that shit hilarious, bro. I was dying. I
yeah.
was dying.
That was one of the times I chuckled because they did it well. Like how it just they were like because when Rick or whoever I think it was Rick Flag, he was like, "Did anybody check if the weasel can fucking swim?" Like
You're right.
that was kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that to me made laugh. Poe said hated when they killed Milton. Polka Dot Man mentioned it. To be honest with you, that scene was another scene that made me laugh too, right?
That was the
because
hardest I laughed in the whole movie.
he's like, they killed Milton, and Bloodshot was like, Milton was still with us, you know. And
Yeah,
then Harley Quinn's like, who the hell was Milton? Yeah, that scene was played out well. I found
definitely.
that funny. I
I
found
did
that funny.
too. I liked it when
What's
he
up,
was like,
Deshaun?
he said, they were like, when did this love affair with Milton start? And he was like, I liked him since the beginning. That was some funny shit, man.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I said Polka Dot Man, like I said, for me, I thought he was going to be the worst character, but he was really good. Next up, we'll talk about John Cena. But just before I do, Deshaun gave it a 9 out of 10. And that's the rating I gave it as well, Deshaun. I thought it was definitely really good. He said, King Shark and Ratcatcher 2 are my favorite characters in the movie. We'll get into King Shark. King Shark, okay, he said that twice. Um, Hit the like button. Mar said, Polka Dot Man, I know him only from the animated series, and there he calls himself the arch nemesis of the Flash. I don't even know him from the comics, right? Because I didn't know too much about the Suicide Squad comics. So I didn't know much about him. I just researched like a few days ago and seen when he first came into the comics. And basically, he was supposed to be like a joke character. So what did you think of King Shark, Elias?
I liked him. I was surprised that I did. I thought he was going to be my least favorite character, but um, his humor was some of the better humor, and then the whole thing with like Ratcatcher telling him that they were his friends and stuff, and yeah, he was just kind of like a dumb, cute little monster. You know, he was fun.
Yeah, and for me, when I was watching it, right, I seen Sylvester Stallone's name, and I was like, Sylvester Stallone's in this movie. I'm like, okay. And then I'm watching the movie, and I didn't get him. And for some reason, even the voice when I was watching the movie, I didn't catch it. Right, the second time I watched, it, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely Sylvester Stallone. So for some reason, I didn't catch it when I seen it in the theater. But
Mm.
I really liked King Shark. I thought he was done well. I thought he was well done. Sylvester Stallone to me killed it. Again, certain scenes like the joke scene with the hand was in the trailer, so I didn't really find that as funny because I seen it so many times, right? So it doesn't hit the same way. But when he's in the little fucking where they're in the room and he sees the fishes in the water and he's jumping around, he's like, "Oh, dumb friends," and then it blows up and they attack him. I was like, "Yo, that shit was fire." I wasn't expecting that. So
For sure.
I thought it was definitely good. There's a series, The Weasel. He was being a weasel, maybe faked to death. Now he is free and about. Um, well, like you said, at the end of the movie, the weasel does get up, and the way he runs away, it was another funny moment for me too. But I thought that was cool that the weasel got up at the end, right? Um, what did you think of John Cena, Phil?
Yeah, he did a good job, man. I'm not a big John Cena fan in terms of his acting, but the way that this is one of the things I love about this movie, man. They took a bunch of characters I didn't care about and gave them depth. Like, even though he seems at first like this big dumb, like rip off Captain America, his ideology, the way he thinks about things, and how it plays into the story with him having to go against Rick Flag and being Amanda Waller's like fail safe to like make sure all the evidence gets destroyed. It puts him in this dramatic situation where it's like, oh shit, like he's gonna kill Rick Flag and he's gonna succeed, and it's like, man, he did a good job in that aspect of it. He was a really good like villainous type of guy, but you also understood where he was coming from a little bit.
hmm and that's the thing, right? When he goes after Rick Flag, he's like telling him, he's like, "Yo, don't make me do this." So you could see he really didn't want to do it, but obviously he has to follow what Amanda Waller wants, or his head's gonna get blown up, right? Um, so I definitely thought that was a cool thing about him. Like he didn't really want to do it, but he also says when she's like, why you kill me? Just take the disc life. And he's like, because I'm thorough. So that goes to show that again, even though he didn't want to do it, he's gonna make sure that the job gets done properly. And I thought that was pretty cool with him. Um, the scene where he's in his fucking underwear, bro, and they're fucking, and
Oh
Idris
yeah.
Elba was like, "Why the fuck are you in your underwear and tidy whities?" And he's like, "That's racist." That scene was funny to me. Like, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that I thought were really funny, and that's the thing. Some of the jokes, no, they didn't hit, but some of them I thought were really funny, and I laughed. I was laughing a lot during this movie,
Yeah,
really a
it
lot.
definitely, it wasn't like cringy humor, like it was more nuanced, and it worked for the characters.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it was like grade five humor and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't see it like that.
Hey
I
dude,
just
I love the MCU, man, but that humor in Suicide Squad is better than 90% of the humor in the MCU for
100%.
me.
It's definitely better than humor in Thor Ragnarok. It's definitely better than the humor that was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. 100% it was better. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm like, I love my MCU, so you guys know that already. There's movies. I think Infinity War is a masterpiece. So before you guys say, "Oh, some bullshit," I do like MCU a lot, but I have to be honest with myself. And when I say that this movie hit me better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2, than Thor Ragnarok, it just did. There were things in this movie that was fucking hilarious, man. You know,
Yeah.
and the thing is, of course, humor is subjective, right? The jokes are subjective. So, of course, there may be shit that didn't hit for you, but the humor that was in this movie hit for me, and I loved it. So that's why I put it up there to where I did. I again gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. I seen it 3 times already, and Post said so Job said I'm disappointed. King Shark never said King Shark is a shark. Um, I don't know if he was supposed to say that. I don't know, but yeah, I get it, man. But we can't have everything we want in these movies, right? As long as they portray them good. And this is what I was happy about because I like King Shark in the Flash series. I think he's done well in that. But I think this was a different take on King Shark, and I think it worked. I really think it worked. Post that John Cena played the heck out of his role. Absolutely. And then I found out that they already finished filming Peacemaker. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yep, they already finished filming Peacemaker. The series is done finished. So I'm like, okay, that's very interesting because they were on Jimmy Kimmel and they were talking about it. And he says, yeah, right after they did Suicide Squad, they filmed Peacemaker. So Peacemaker is already done. And to be
Interesting.
honest with you, I'm gonna watch the show. I'm excited for it because at the end of the day, I didn't think John Cena did that bad of a job. I hated John Cena at first, right? And he started to get better. He was pretty good in Bumblebee. He was good in Fast Nine, but he's good. He's really good in this. This role suited him 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. What other things did you not like about the movie?
Pretty much the only other problem I had was I thought Harley Quinn had some really great action in it, and I thought her performance was good. But the whole thing with her like fucking the president, uh, I could have just done without that whole entire subplot. Just the way they worked her character in this movie was my least favorite part. Like her whole like they had to take her out of the action and then reintroduce her, and like her entire arc was basically figuring out why she had the javelin. You
Hmm.
know, I thought it was really weak compared to like Ratcatcher and Bloodsport. Like they had these really emotional arcs they were on of like changing as people, and then Harley Quinn was just like, I got to figure out why I have this stick. I thought I was a little unimaginative, but you know, that's really my only other complaint. Like, yeah, I just
And
didn't love that.
And they didn't even really explain it because she didn't really need the stick. She would have jumped right into his eye anyways because it was water, right? It's not like the javelin made it turn into water or whatever. So I agree with you there. And me too. I had an issue with the president scene and her sleeping with the dude and then killing the dude. But then I started to think about it. And it's like they're just trying to show that Quinn is still fucking crazy, right?
Right.
She's still one of those psychopathic bitches that you don't want to fuck with, you know. And he said the wrong thing. He said killing kids, and she was like, if I ever found a man and there's red flags, I'm gonna murder him, and that's what she did. So I definitely understand why people didn't like the scene, even me at first. But after I think about it, I'm like, okay, maybe they're just trying to show that she's still crazy. But the scene where they have her chained up and they're electrocuting her, right?
Hmm.
And then she fakes dead, and then she opens her eyes. You can see that she is going to fucking kill these dudes, right? The
Oh yeah.
look in her eyes is like, I'm gonna kill this dude. She wraps her legs around his neck. I was like, yes, do it, Carly, do it. Kill him. Wrap those legs around his neck, So I like that scene. And then when I watched Jimmy Kimball, she really did it. That was her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
I
really.
told
Yeah, go ahead.
I told Pickle, you know, I know it's a comic book movie, but there was one little thing, you know, and keep in mind, I love Ratcatcher. I'm not being sexist or anything, but when she
Hmm.
lifted that dude with her legs, I thought that was a little silly because she like lifted him like 6 feet off the ground and snapped his neck with her thighs. Like that was a little silly to me, but it
You
wasn't a big deal, I
you
guess.
mean Harley Quinn?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah. Because she did lift him up, right?
yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. I hear you, but superhero movie, right?
Right, right.
Comic book movie.
Not the end of the
See,
world. There was so much good in this movie, man. So much good that it's like I don't even care about the little nitpicks.
Yeah, me too. Because it's not a perfect movie. Like I said, I find there's a little bit of drag in the movie. You know what I mean? Because you get action, joke, 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 and then you get a little bit of drag with the Harley Quinn stuff, and then they go to rescue her, and then it gets back to the action. So I
Yeah,
definitely thought it was that stuff didn't bother me because you had to expect that from the way the movie started, right? With just fucking like intense killing and shit. You had to expect that sooner or later that there was going to be some sort of little, get to know each other and talking and finding out why they're doing what they're doing and stuff like that. You had to know that was coming.
yeah,
So
and in the third act was so good, like that it made what happened with them like doing their exposition and explaining their characters. It all came full circle in a way that was fulfilling. And that's something that doesn't happen that often in comic book movies anymore, that they actually take the time to like write the characters and make them seem like people. Even
mm-hmm,
though it's a comic book movie, I felt like I understood Bloodsport's struggle with his daughter and like the stuff with his dad and Ratcatcher and even Harley Quinn a little bit. Like I understood like what she was going through and stuff, and I cared
mm-hmm.
about them as people.
And that's a great point because one of the dudes that I was supposed to be debating this on was supposed to come on here, whatever. He was like, "Oh, Bloodsport was a horrible father," and I'm like, "Then if that's the case, you didn't understand what Bloodsport was doing. It's not that Bloodsport didn't care about his daughter. He did not want his daughter to be fucking with him because he was like one of those dudes that, I'm in jail. I may never get out of here. Live your life and do what you have to do." Because the
Yeah.
minute Amanda Waller threatened his daughter, he went off. Right. So
Yeah.
that's what I liked about that.
Yeah, he didn't think that he had any good in him. He didn't think he had anything to offer her.
Exactly. So
And
when
that was
he's
his whole
cursing,
arc, was realizing that he did have something to offer the world.
right, and that's the thing, when he was cursing her out, it wasn't that he didn't like his daughter or he didn't want to have anything to do with his daughter. He just knew that his daughter would be better off without him. So he
Right.
was just ripping into her, and then she was ripping back. So I don't believe that he was a bad father type of shit. He was trying to protect his daughter, and that's what good parents do. If they feel like they're not, I know it's stupid to say, but it's true. If there's parents that are not in their right mind, and they feel like they may hurt themselves or jeopardize their kids, it's better to step away until you're able to fix your issue and then try to come back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Like he might have been a bad father in the sense that he wasn't, good for her and he wasn't like
right.
there for her and stuff, but he wasn't like you said, it wasn't that he didn't care about her. And
Exactly.
he just knew that he was a bad person and he didn't know how to see any good in him. And that's what was so great about Ratcatcher telling him that the rat saw the good in him. And then like in the end, he went back to the village when he heard those people screaming. Like
Screaming.
it was so good, man. Like
Mhm.
it was an arc like that he was on. I love this movie, man. It was so good.
So did I, man. And that's what I was saying. I was like, you're absolutely right. Because he was like, you heard what Amanda Waller said, and there's begin to walk away. And you could just hear the screams in the background, right? And he's just like, oh, fuck it. And turns around. And that's it, man. And most people would probably do that, bro, because you've seen what happened already, right? Well, he didn't walk into the room, but he's seen the starfish taking over the people's minds and shit, and what was going on, and that they wouldn't have been able to stop this thing. And he realized that all Amanda Waller cared about was making sure that the US wasn't implicated in this fucking thing, right? So
Right.
he turns around and he's like, yo, I'm gonna help them, and if you blow up my head, I don't give a fuck. So
Right. That's the moment he showed that he did have good in him. And that's the whole point. Like, I don't understand people not liking this movie in the sense that there's so much about it that is what I criticize movies a lot, man. That's why my name is the Film Elitist.
I know.
But it's like this movie did so much of what I've been missing from movies.
Mm-hmm.
The action looked like fulfilling. It made me feel like I was like a kid again. Like there was so much well choreographed one-on-one action where like you were like, oh man, what's gonna happen here? Is someone gonna die? And then some people did die, and you felt the stakes. And you felt like you cared about Bloodsport, and then get that fulfilling moment of him turning around and showing that he had that good in him. And there was just on so many levels, man. This movie does so many things that comic book movies don't do as much anymore. I don't
Right.
understand why people are like not into that. Like for me, it was like a fresh surprise, man.
100%. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I do feel like the Bloodsport character was definitely written for Deadshot. Like that was Deadshot's
Mm.
story 100%. But then when Will Smith didn't do it, I think they were actually going to recast Will Smith or Idris Elba as Deadshot. But for some reason, maybe Will Smith said he wasn't done with them or whatever, if there's another one. So they ended up just changing him to Bloodshot, right? But it felt like it was supposed to be Will Smith's character in that. But again, it didn't take away from the story for me because it works, right? It works. The daughter and everything absolutely works. And
Yeah.
Job said when Peacemaker killed Flag, you can see the look of disdain in his eyes was really well done. Yeah, he didn't want to do it, man. He didn't want to do it, but at the end of the day, he knew he had to follow Amanda Waller's rules, and you could tell that he was one of those characters that it's the job first.
Yeah,
So
he's kind of like a John Walker in a way.
100%, exactly. The Suicide Squad had a greater percentage of jokes that worked than all of the MCU's jokes. I can kind of agree with you. Not all MCU movies, right? Because some of the jokes land in there. But when you talk about the ones that are like jokey, like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor Ragnarok, I think 100% that the jokes in this movie hit a lot better. And let's be real, the violence in this movie also hit a lot better. I don't think if they didn't make this R rating, it would have been as good either. That's
For
just
sure.
me. I love the kills in it, right? And when I left that movie, I was like, DC should make more R rated movies. Now the box office numbers may not make them want to do that, but at the end of the day, like the Rotten Tomatoes and the word of mouth and people liking it should say, like, maybe we need to do more. The mistake that they made 100% was putting this on HBO Max for free. That's their mistake. It would have made a lot more money if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It would have made a lot more money if they would have had it in theaters already. Black Widow didn't make as much money as it should have made because it came on Disney Plus as well. And that you had to pay extra for it, but it still came on a streaming service. And there were people that were willing to pay the $30, you know what I mean, and call their friends over or let their friends use their account so that they can watch it as well. So don't think a lot of that shit wasn't going on with Black Widow. Same thing with HBO Max. The only thing is that it was free on HBO Max.
I
So
think
I
it
think
might be like maybe the studios are realizing, just how like when people started pirating music, right, in the early
mhm,
2000s, you had to like come up with a way to solve that. iTunes was kind of the solution, right? And then you
mhm,
get like Spotify and stuff. I think that they understand like we're not making the box office we used to make, plus COVID's going on still.
mhm.
But if we're their success is still directly tied into HBO Max getting subscribers and views and stuff. So I think they succeeded in that sense. I'm sure people are streaming the shit out of this, you know.
Absolutely, 100%. Not just streaming it, bootlegging it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People are bootlegging it and they're just watching it when they want to watch it. And so, yeah, it's going to hurt the box office for 100% for sure. Peacemaker is one of my favorite characters. Yeah, he did good, man. I can't blame you on that one, Spencer. I think he did really good. Poe said King Shark ripping the guy apart at the end with the lightning in the background was the most beautiful cinematic shot of any movie I've seen this far. Seriously, did you did everyone see it? I thought it was good. The only problem is we seen that in the trailer. You know what I mean? So that was the biggest issue. I think they should have saved that for the trailer. But King Shark ripping the dude in half, King Shark fucking eating the dude's head and putting it in his mouth, and the eyeballs were moving. All that shit was all that shit worked for me, man. And the smaller bullets payoff was amazing. Oh yeah, the smaller bullet payoff, right? Because that's another thing I wanted to get into, right? The scene in the village where they're just killing fucking people. They literally killed innocent fucking people in that scene. It was like, yo, what the fuck, right? And you don't realize what's going on. I had something, I had kind of a feeling something was funny because there was a woman washing dishes or some shit. Dude was in the house naked and shit. So I was like, man, something. I was like, something's not right with this one here. And then, yeah, sure, we find out that they went into the resistance village and killed everything there. But
And you
that
know what's
scene,
great about
yeah,
that?
yeah, go ahead.
It's like not only was it good as a joke or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
this is something just like people are downplaying the heart of this movie. I think a lot of people are downplaying that this movie's kind of deep.
Mm-hmm.
It has something to say, man. Like when they just went in guns ablazing, killing all those people. Like that's how the military stuff works a lot of times, and people don't want to
Facts.
think about that shit. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what was going on there, and I thought that was really clever because they just came in guns ablazing, assuming that everybody was the enemy, and just butchered them.
Right, exactly. And then you get to the fucking thing and you see fucking Flag having tea and he's just chilling and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then she's like,
Right.
oh, why didn't my team and tell me you were coming? Or why didn't I get a warning that you guys were coming? Like, oh, we didn't see anybody, and then when they show them walking through and everybody's dead, you know, and Flag says it, he says they're idiots straight up, right? So you're
Right.
absolutely right. That was definitely something in there that was to show you that sometimes you don't always have to go in with guns blazing. Loved her, but he didn't love her mother. That's tough, different love. Not sure what that has to.
I
What
think you're
is
talking
that?
about Bloodsport.
Oh, okay, got you. James Gunn actually made characters that 85% of the people who never heard of um, a likable movie. What's the issue? That is correct because a lot of these characters I didn't even know about, right? And Polka Dot Man, King Shark, I knew from the Flash shows. Ratcatcher 2, no idea who that was. But you get these characters and you feel for them. He, and James Gunn has one thing I will say about him, he is able to get a lot of characters and give them enough screen time so that you care about those characters. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He does it with Guardians of Galaxy. He did it with this one. Um, when Bloodsport was telling everyone what to do, that was a great Avengers 2012 reference. Down with King Shark jumping, right when he was telling King Shark num num, he's like num num, and then he was like, Polka Dot Man, you see who that is? That's your mom.
That was funny when
That-
she was the kaiju or whatever.
yeah, that was funny. So, what did you think about Starro? Did you like the villain?
I did. It worked. Because okay, here's the thing, right? It doesn't matter. Just like it didn't matter that like these characters we didn't care about, they became likable characters because of the way they were written. It didn't
Hmm.
matter that they were fighting a giant starfish to me, as ridiculous as it sounded, because the way was woven into the plot was so good, right? Because the Starro existing and the entire like program they were working on with the astronauts and stuff, it showed you like okay, Amanda Waller's trying to bury this. John Cena's Peacemaker is like going to be put in the situation with Brick Flag. All the ways it played off these other characters and the situations that put him in was great. And then even in the end, when they all had to come together to stop him, um, like when he died, he even said it. He was like, "I was happy just floating along the stars." Like the starfish was happy being in space, and like the astronauts took him and experimented on him. So even that, like there was something like there, it's kind of
Oh,
deeper.
that's the thing, and I didn't catch that the first time. Right before he dies, the general wakes up and he says, "I was happy in space, just looking at the stars." I
Right.
was like, "Oh fuck, that's serious, right?" So
Yeah.
it's basically he's doing this because you took him out of his fucking comfort zone. What he was happy doing, you tortured him for 30 fucking years. What did you think was gonna happen?
Right.
Yeah, I missed that the first time around.
Some
Geeky
deep
guy,
shit, man.
you want to come in? No problem. We will get into this with you. I will send you the link. Not a problem. I just figured you were watching your boy, so I didn't really want to bother you. But yeah, you want in? I got you. Uh, the guys are asking about the watch party. Oh shit. Yeah, I know. I know about the watch party that I was supposed to do today, but I will do that another day. It's just Lunga and Yellow weren't feeling well, so oh shit. Let me send Lunga this if he wants to come in. Let him know we're talking about it. And Geeky guy, I'm sending it to you now. Just be respectful when you get in here, bro. That's all I'm asking. And where are you? Uh, yeah. So anything else? What else do you think, Elitist?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is like I just want to give this movie kudos on multiple levels, right? It's got the action that is like it's spectacle, but it's also believable in a lot of parts, like the way it's choreographed, and there's like some amazing like just fight scenes, whether it's Harley Quinn, Bloodsport. His costume was awesome. The costumes,
What
the
up,
set
Danny?
designs. um I thought the political stuff with the Americans experimenting on the starfish program and them killing all those villagers, there was a lot of cool political undertones that weren't like preachy, but they were nuanced and they worked well, and it made you think about shit. I thought it made a bunch of characters that I never would have cared about in a million years likable, and I was invested in them. When Rick Flag died, I cared that he was dead. Man, this movie just on a lot of levels works for me, and I got to give it credit, man. It's like one of the better comic movies of the last 4 or 5 years, dude.
I agree with you 100%. So now we have some geeky guy in the house, and this is the guy I was talking to you about Film Elitist who didn't like it. So geeky guy,
Oh, okay.
what did you not like about this movie?
Epic entrance.
Hey, you got his Pepsi or everything ready. No problem, Poe.
Okay.
What up, Danny?
I don't even know where to fucking begin with this movie because so many things in this film didn't work for me. The humor was god awful. The characters in this movie were terrible. All they did was fucking hate on each other and fight amongst each other and only came together until the very end because the plot required them to. The plot of this movie was all over the place and it was so poorly structured. Stuff happens in this movie for the sake of happening. And I'm like, why was this even in this movie? And I could go on and on and on, but you
All right.
and don't even get me started on John Cena. Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
So let's start there with John Cena. What was your issue with John Cena?
Well, he was a fucking asshole throughout the entire movie, and then in the very end of the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, I hate you even more. And just when I thought I couldn't hate him even more, they had him kill off Rick Flag. I mean, how disrespectful do you have to be to have the leader of the Suicide Squad killed by Peacemaker of all people? Come on.
Well, for one, it put the stakes into the show that anybody could die, right? And you hating John Cena just proved that John Cena did his job correctly because he's not supposed to be a likable character. You're supposed to hate him in this movie. And that's exactly what they did with him. They
But
made you hate John Cena.
But the problem is, this is a movie that expects me to root for the guy, though.
Not John Cena. They expect you to root for Idris Elba. They expect you to root for Ratcatcher and Polka Dot Man, I would say. But the rest,
Oh, you want to talk about characters? Polka Dot Man was a fucking joke, man. He was a joke.
explain.
Okay. Okay. Well, first of all, this movie could have done something actually interesting and deep with the guy. Like they mentioned, like he kind of had an interesting backstory where his mom performed horrible experiments on him and forced him to become a superhero when he didn't want to, and they. Fuck you. Anyways, as I was reading the comment. Anyways,
Yeah.
as I was saying, like they could have actually done something interesting with the fucking with fucking Polka Dot Man, but no, he's just shoved to the side and turned into a jokester, and the movie does nothing with him but just turn him into a joke, and that's it. And the way he dies in the movie was just fucking insulting. Like they could have went something with him, but James Gunn was too preoccupied making Family Guy-esque humor with him than actually, having him be an actual character. Now
Elitist, you want to get him on this one? Go ahead, get him on this one.
I mean, I definitely, that was one part of the movie that I was a little upset about was when the way Polka Dot Man died. I was upset. But the thing about Peacemaker, I disagree in this sense that I think that his entire point of being in the movie was to be a foil to because there were good and bad people, and then like people that were compromised, all mixed in with the Suicide Squad. Rick
Okay,
Flag was like what America
before
aspires to be.
Hold on.
Elitist, before I let you continue, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to address a little comment in the section. Jason Lee Tucker, I would rather bathe in the piss, blood, and vomit of an Ebola patient than watch this movie again. Sorry.
All right, Jason,
Damn.
go ahead. Go ahead, Phil. Elitist.
Yeah. So I think Rick Flag is like what America or like what a free country like aspires to be, right? Like the message of like, hey, we're gonna tell the people what's really going on. We're gonna leak this to them, right? Peacemaker is what unfortunately America has usually been, right? We come in guns ablazing, we destroy the evidence, we keep the peace, even when the peace being kept is in a fucked up way. And by the end of it, I think that was one of the there were three main threads of this movie that I got, right? One was people can be redeemed. You can see the good in somebody and they can redeem themselves, like Bloodsport. The second thing was like American interventionist policies. Like, okay, we go in and we disrupt these countries and we do all the shit and then we bury the evidence and there's no consequences for it. And in the end,
Venezuela, Costa Rica, Guatemala.
right, exactly. So
Right.
in the end, they had the thing with like Bloodsport had to make the deal with Amanda Waller or whatever, and he says we can't get everything all at once, but we showed that like that's not what America's really about. Like we were the guys that were sent in to die for nothing, and we disobeyed the orders and we saved this village of people. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of heart in it for me, man, and I thought it made some salient points about like militaristic stuff, and I thought that there was a lot of stuff in there about characters, people being redeemed even when they think that they can't be. You know, like when someone believes in you and sees the good in you. And the thing with the rats, even though it's silly, like when she said the thing about the rats with her dad, like, you know, rats have been outcasted, and if they have a place in this world, then anybody can have a place in this world. And then they all kind of found their place in this team. It was everything the first movie wasn't for me. Like everything the first movie wasn't. It had heart, soul, it had something to say, man. But
No. You know what? I'll give you Peacemaker. If the movie wanted me to hate Peacemaker, then it succeeded. But I disagree with you that this movie had more heart than the first one. In the first movie, the scene in the bar alone had more heart than any scene in James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
You always talk about the scene in the bar, but we had that scene. We had that scene in the bus. It was the same thing. And then when they're in the bar, you see them connecting with each other.
It's just awkward shots of them fucking dancing getting drunk, and that's it.
But they're connecting. This is the point of that scene. Just because you don't hear them talking, they are connecting with each other. Rick Flag and Bloodshot are laughing and joking. Fucking Polka Dot Man is dancing with a bunch of girls. Like Polka Dot Man's the type of dude in this movie that'd probably be like, hey, I would never get any girls. But yet he's standing there dancing with a bunch of girls, right? Then you have John Cena who's standing there dancing with everybody. So it was about them drinking and connecting. And to be honest with you, when you're out with your boys and you're drinking, that's how you connect. You drink, you connect, and you have fun.
But the first movie, the bar scene in the first movie had a more emotional punch to it because you had fucking El Diablo confessing regret with remorse that he killed his entire family by accident. And you had Harley Quinn telling him, you gotta own that shit, son, own that shit. And that entire scene where they completely change their minds and decide to be good guys for once, that scene alone had more fucking punch to it than whatever the fucking bar scene was in this movie. It's just them dancing and getting drunk and shit-faced, and that's it.
But you're also forgetting the bus scene, right? That scene where they're explaining, that's the heart scene. That's the scene where they're explaining why they're doing everything. And you can feel the connection between Idris Elba and Ratcatcher 2. And he's like, I'm going to make sure you get out of here because you remind me of my daughter. And she's like, no, I'm going to make sure you get out of here. And then she even tells him that my father loved me and I wish you had that. That was fucking amazing.
Also in that first movie, like, even if you like that scene,
which is a good scene,
I think that it didn't get paid off. I think in this movie you get paid off to the emotional beats of like it you know, Bloodsport starts in one place and ends in another place. Ratcatcher starts in one place and ends in another place. King Shark, people are different at the end of this movie than they were in the beginning. Whereas in the other movie, it's just like yeah, you get exposition about these people's backstories, but it doesn't pay off in any meaningful way.
No. I have to disagree because in the first movie, for El Diablo, it actually paid off for him because he ended up dying a hero, saving the world and saving his team, and that paid full circle for him. And then you had fucking Killer Croc putting his life on the line, saving the world too. Like it basically, they turned into good guys by the end of the movie. Their arcs went full circle in there. I mean, don't get me wrong, the first movie is far from great. Has so much problems, but at least the first one had actually like good chemistry between the characters, and at least that one had. I would even go as far as say it had a better fucking villain than whatever the fuck.
You are absolutely mad.
I can't go there. Yeah.
First off, let's say this, all right? And I know you guys are complaining about Starro, but Starro is actually in the comics. Like,
it's not just Starro. It's not just Starro. Fucking Thinker was trash. The general.
Thinker, okay.
President was trash.
I will give you Thinker was trash. Thinker was a fucking throwaway character. 100%. He's like the weakest character in the movie for me.
And Anzo, before I let you continue, remember when he said in the movie that he had sex with the starfishes?
No.
He got his way with them.
Oh, that's what he said. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. How the fuck did he have sex with those things though? Like the only holes that they had were the mouth. I mean, they could have been that his.
I think he was talking about the bodies that they were on, like.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't necessarily mean with the
or he could have like taken a knife, cut a hole, and then sticked his dick in that hole.
Could have. He was experimenting with them, right? So who knows? But for me, like those things, just stupid, silly jokes in the movie. Okay. Whatever. I get it. Right. I think the jokes hit. And for me, one of the things that I really enjoyed was the fact that this was an R-rated movie. Like, I think James Gunn used the R rating to a 100% T. And I don't think it would have been as good without it.
No, dude, the R rating, it was just him throwing gory shock value humor like, hey guys, see? So much gore. Haha, funny, get it? It felt, the humor in this movie, it felt like a fifth grader who discovered cursing for first time wrote the humor for this film.
No, it actually made it real. Like, when you're watching these scenes, guys aren't going to be like, oh, frig, oh, no. They're going to be like, what the fuck? You know, when fucking TDK breaks off his arms, right? And they attack the dudes and they're slapping him. And then Harley Quinn was like, what the, I kid you not. I said the exact same thing as Harley Quinn at the same time. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Okay. I don't know what kind of weed they have over at fucking Canada, because I gotta try that shit. What the hell did you love about the detachable kid? The detachable kid was fucking stupid.
No, I didn't say I loved it. I said when she said what the fuck, I said it at the same time as she did. So that is the kind of reaction that some real person would have. That's what I'm saying, because I had the same reaction. I was like, what the fuck? And when she said it, I started laughing, right? Because we said at the same time. So that's why I like it. So when the cursing comes into these movies, it's not just that it's cursing for cursing. Like, these are things that people would fucking do in those situations. Like, people will talk like that. And that's exactly why I like the movie, because all the cursing in it, hey man, I would have been cursing the same fucking way, you know?
And back to the villains. Here's why I think Enchantress was a better villain. Now, what was Enchantress's motivation? Okay, so her and her brother, thousands of years ago, they used to be worshipped by humans as gods. And then when they wake up thousands of years later, they get so pissed off at humanity that they worship machines and technology instead of worshiping them. And so they use technology and machines to destroy them. The very thing that they worship, they want to use to destroy them. Was it the best motivation ever? Not necessarily, but they worked. They at least worked. They didn't need to be deep villains like, say, Heath Ledger's Joker, okay? They just needed to be serviceable villains, and I think they were, okay? That's what the fuck was fucking General's plan? What was going to be his plan? How did he even think? Why would he even trust Thinker to control the Starros, the Starro fishes at his will? Like, maybe did the thought not occur to him that maybe Thinker was gonna like turn against him and use those starfishes against him? Did he not consider that?
You see, this is the thing about being a narcissist, is that you don't think about those things, and he was definitely a narcissist, and all he was thinking about was using Starro to get at America. That's the only thing he was thinking of, right? So he wasn't even really the main villain. Like, the main villain ended up being Starro, and I would I would have 100% agreed with you until that last scene where fucking the general's about to die, and Starro says, "I was happy in the space looking at the stars." Then that right there alone just shows you that fucking Starro was being tortured for 30 years, and he was miserable, and he was about to get his revenge on the city, because he didn't say the world is mine. He was like, this city is mine, because that's where he was being
Also,
tortured
I
for
think I
30
think
years.
something
Okay,
you're
okay,
you're
and okay, film elitist, you continue. I'll get to my point, Hanzo.
Yeah, film, go ahead.
yeah. Just quickly, I think the only thing I would add is like, I don't think Starro's like an incredible villain or anything, but a good villain doesn't have to be just like, oh, what's his motivation, whatever. It's about how the characters play off of him, how their story intertwines with that. Like, does it create an interesting dynamic with how the characters play off of it? Does it say something about the story? Does it complete arcs? Does it?
I gotta go get another Pepsi can. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
No
go ahead.
problem.
Yeah, finish what you're saying, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just think Enchantress doesn't create any kind of actual obstacle for the characters to overcome. Like, Starro put those guys in a position where Bloodsport has that moment where he turns around and hears those screams and fulfills his arc. It creates political tensions. It makes a point about experimentation and covering up
Right.
secrets with American government. Like, there's so many interesting things that come from Starro being in that movie, where Enchantress is literally just a wacky inflatable floating doll with a bullshit surface level story, and it does nothing interesting for the characters. It doesn't further their arcs. It doesn't make any kind of point about anything. She's just there to have a big CGI set piece final battle.
No, disagree. I disagree. Because if you watch the first Suicide Squad movie, when the squad found out that Rick Flag was dating Enchantress and that he was partially responsible for all the shit that they're fighting against, they were like, okay, yeah, we trusted you, you backstabbed us, and then at that point, like that was the emotional gut wrench of the movie. That's what led to the bar scene, and that's what led to like a truce between them and fucking Rick Flag. They're like, okay, we're gonna fix up your mess. And so I disagree that she didn't that she didn't do anything to further the characters' arcs.
I kind of agree with film elitist. I like I said, I didn't like the Enchantress. And what was your plan? Was to fucking open up that beam in space, and we've seen that a million times in movies already. So
okay, it was cliche. I'll admit
Right.
it. I'll admit
Right.
it. However, her plan was to use the very machines that these humans worshipped against them. That was basically her entire plan. Was it cliche? Sure, but she didn't need to be a deep villain. Okay, she just needed to be a serviceable one. I mean, look at Steppenwolf in the Snyder Cut. Steppenwolf wasn't that deep of a villain. The Justice League just needed a serviceable one at best.
Whoa. We won't get into that because he was deep in the Snyder Cut. But I'll say this. I hear what you're saying, but for me, like Film Elitist said, this goes to real life things and politics and shit like that in this movie. That's why it hits a lot better, right? And
I mean, for
me,
you, okay.
For me, Starro, right? Not only that, right? Starro was used those little fucking starfish, was taking over people, and then fucking Idris Elba, Bloodsport, had to kill fucking human beings, right? Because they were taken over. In the first one, they turned into these fucking, I don't even know what the fuck I want to call them. They turned
Minions.
into
Just call them
right, and some CGI shit, and they kill them with no. But in this one, the stakes were high because you're killing people. Like, you see them, they have no choice but to kill these people that were taken over by fucking Starro, and I thought that was amazing.
Can you highlight Poe's newest comment, because I fucking agree with him.
Oh, which one here?
The Pepsi one. Yeah, damn right, Poe. Pepsi better than cola for sure.
What do you think, film. Spectrum said the editing was horrendous in the 2006.
Okay, yeah, that I will give you. The editing was not good at all. It needed a lot of work, a lot of work.
Yeah,
But
I,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, everything's subjective, obviously. But for me, there was a clear voice in this movie that wasn't there in the first
but
movie.
guys, how is this movie any better? The plot of this movie, the way it's structured, is all over the place. Like it goes, the plot of the structure of this movie is like this. Okay, we're gonna jump from point A, but no, let's jump to point D. Let's jump back to point B. No, wait, fuck it. Let's jump to point F. That's basically what the structure of this movie was like. Okay.
Hold on. The plot of it was always the same. It was always to get the data from fucking for Amanda Waller. That was always the plot of the movie, right? But
Yeah.
of course, what happens is they find out Rick Flag is alive and they find out where he is. So it's okay, let's go save Rick Flag first. And then Rick Flag's like, no, Harley's alive, so we got to go save Harley. And it all works because they got to get the team back together before they go and fight Starro. So I don't know where you're saying the plot was all over the place. There's one plot.
Like, do you not remember, like during the plot where this movie like was like, okay, let's jump to 3 weeks earlier, let's jump to 8 minutes earlier, let's jump to fucking 8 hours later. Like, do you not remember that? It was all over the fucking place.
But that's what worked for it, especially for me, right? Because when you get to the scene with Rick Flag and he kills fucking when Peacemaker kills Rick Flag, right? And then they go back 8 minutes, and then you see why the building blew up first, and then Idris Elba falling down.
Ironically, that shit lasted longer than 8 minutes, if you time it.
Really? Really? That's the bullshit you're gonna come with?
So
I timed it.
So that that's enough of a complaint for you that you had to time out the 8 minutes of that, but you don't have to micro analyze the first Suicide Squad movie. Like,
Dude,
you don't even have to work hard
dude,
to find the flaws.
I'm like this. I'm like this with every movie I watch. I microanalyze anything. That's how look. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I am an extremely pedantic and technical person. Like, you get one small detail right, I will call that out as fast as you blink. Like, just ask Rob; he can back me up.
But either or, that whether it was, I will definitely have to check that, which I can go do right now and check and see if that was longer than 8 minutes. But even if it was, the point of it was the fact that they ended up meeting at the exact same spot where fucking Peacemaker was about to kill the girl. And then they both shoot, his bullet goes through Peacemaker's bullet and hits him in the neck, which is a callback to him talking about the smaller bullets when they were killing in the village. It was well done, man.
No, it was not even remotely close. I'm sorry,
well
Anzo, I like you, man, but you're grasping at straws at this point.
How am I grasping at straws? But that's what happened, though.
Dude, I still stand by what I said, that the plot of this movie is all over the place. Like, I want to see you defend this one, though. What the fuck was the point of that shit of President Luda hitting on Harley? Like, what made him think that she was into him?
That was the worst part of the movie. That was unnecessary.
Facts.
Yeah, it had no reason to be there at all.
But
it
again,
was just there to stretch out the plot.
No. And I've said this earlier, and I'll say it again. That whole scene was to show you that Harley Quinn is still a crazy bitch. That's exactly what it is. It's there to show you that she is still like fucked up from what the Joker did to her.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
We already had 2 whole fucking movies to remind us that she's a crazy bitch. We didn't need a third one too. Okay.
But it's not a whole third movie. It's just to let you remind you guys, because you got to understand what they do in these movies. No. Hold on. Listen to me. What they do in these movies is they take these bad characters and they make them anti-heroes, right? They do it all the time, right? Just go look at fucking Fast 9, what they did to all those fucking bad guys. They're all fucking good guys now. So what they were trying to show
I'd rather watch Fast 9 than watch this again. That's
what they were trying to show was, no, she's not an anti-hero. She's doing this because she has a bomb in her head. You know what I mean? And she still killed the guy. The minute he said he was going to kill kids, and he was like, oh yeah, that's a red flag. And she popped him. So it was to show that she was still crazy.
Since you brought up Harley, no, actually, I was the one who brought her up, but oh god, I think I'm gonna burp. Jesus Christ. Okay, before I burp, I just want to say, how the fuck did Harley get arrested again? I mean, she was free in Birds of Prey. How did she get arrested again?
Well, she said she was robbing. She robbed the bank
Well, why would she even need to rob a bank? I mean, she already got rich off the diamonds she stole from the last one from Roman.
because she's Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do. They're criminals. Like you can't tell me that she hasn't done it in the comic books and cartoons just to do shit. That's what she did. She got caught again.
But again, she already was rich from the diamonds, so there was really no need to whatever.
She's a villain, dude. Like, come on. You know these are comic book movies, so obviously, regardless, they're gonna fucking do what they have to do, whether they're rich or not. They're always causing problems, and that's
Okay,
what Harley
look,
Quinn
look.
was doing.
If they had said they put her back there because she blew someone's brains out, I would have bought it a little more.
But she got caught robbing a bank, so of course she's gonna go back there because not only did she escaped. It's not like Amanda Waller let her go. She escaped. So if they catch her, she's going straight back there, and that's what happened. They caught her, and she went straight back there. I have no problem with that.
And since you brought up Amanda Waller, here's one thing I'd like to see you defend as well. Like, remember when one of her staff members knocked her out with a golf club?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why did she let her live after that? Because the real Amanda Waller would have blown her brains out. Because in the last movie, sorry about that.
It's all good.
In the last movie, when she was locked up in that secret lair in that building, she literally pulled a cap on every single agent in that
We
office.
talked about this earlier, and we kind of like came to the agreement that they should have explained this better, but it was most likely the Bloodsport, that deal he made with her, that was part of the deal. Like, you're not going to kill the people that like helped us out.
Right.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't know what SSJK. Sanctum is smoking, but Suicide Squad is not better than Guardians 1. No way.
No, it's not better than Guardians 1. Absolutely not. It's better than Guardians 2, though. It's definitely better than Guardians 2.
Okay, you know, Anzo, I'm grateful that you agree with me in saying that it's not better than Guardians 1 because I would have flown down to Quebec just to smack you.
Hey, I
It's
think
not
you can
better
make
than
an
Guardians
argument. I'm just going to say it. I don't think it
Yeah, go
is,
ahead.
but I think you can make an argument. I could see why some people think it's better.
Okay, so apparently Poe wants to come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna send Poe the link. And anybody else that wants to come on can come on. It's not a problem.
Get up
So
in
what
the
do
mix,
you,
baby.
so let me hear what you're saying, Phil. Let's hear your argument for it being better than Guardians 1.
I don't think it is for me personally because when I watched Guardians 1, I had the same kind of expectations in the sense that I didn't care about the Guardians as a comic book or a team or characters. I went into it, I was blown away, right? I think that movie is damn close to a masterpiece, like just for what it is.
Mhm.
But I could see why someone would say this movie, which touches more on like political stuff, it's a darker movie. It has a very different tone to it. It still succeeds. It might succeed on more levels than Guardians does, because Guardians is kind of constrained with like the whole Disney thing. This movie got into some more adult themes, so I could see why people would enjoy this movie more.
I can agree with you. It did have a lot of adult themes, but for me, as an entertainment value, I still liked Guardians of the Galaxy better. I think Guardians of the Galaxy had a better mix of action, comedy, and character development than this one did. That's Guardians 1. Guardians 2 shit the bed.
I loved Guardians 1 more because at least the first Guardians of the Galaxy, had jokes that actually made me laugh. And at least it had better chemistry between the characters than whatever the fuck this movie had.
Okay, but Guardians of the Galaxy has two things for me. Okay, the first one. So when I first seen the movie, I went by myself, right? My son, I think he was on vacation with his mom. So I went by myself. So I'm in the theater watching it. And when that movie started and Star-Lord was doing that dance at the beginning, I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? I'm like, please don't tell me this movie is going to be like this. So right away I was X. I did not like that opening scene.
You didn't like it?
I did not like the opening scene. But then the movie gets so much better. And then we get the dance off at the end. And I cannot fucking stand that dance off scene.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Sorry. I think it's stupid. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I address a recent comment that JK Dots, like whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
just call him K Dots. K Dots. K Dots.
Okay,
That's our
K
boy
Dots.
right there. K Dots
Okay,
is the
okay,
man.
okay. First of all, K Dots. Anyone who knows me in real life knows that I am a huge DC fan. In fact, most of my let me show you this.
Which one is
See
it?
that? See that right there? Up there? That's my comic book collection. And most of my comic books that I own are DC, okay? And besides, I already prefer the DCEU over the MCU by one margin. The Snyder Cut alone is better than anything in the MCU, okay? Anyone who knows me in real life knows that I'm a huge DC fan.
Oh, so you think the Snyder Cut is better than Infinity War?
Yeah.
Okay,
And better than Endgame.
Okay, we are definitely gonna have to talk about that one day. We are definitely gonna have to talk about that one day. Yeah,
this
go ahead.
just popped in my head.
Oh, Monster Paradise is in the chat. Great.
Yeah, what up, Monster? How you doing?
I gotta say, man, I think that Starro is a better villain than Ronan. I think that more interesting things are more themes are explored with him. I think that more themes overall were explored in this movie than there were in Guardians. I think it gets into deeper shit with the real world. I think as a character piece, it works almost equally as well, if not better. I can see why people think it's on par or better. I don't know if I would take that stance. I need to watch it a couple more times, but I mean, I don't think it's like blasphemy.
No. Ronan
what the fuck is the DC oath that K Dot is talking about?
You'd have to talk to Kate out about that because I have no idea what the DC oath is.
But by the way, is Poe coming on? Because Poe said he wanted to come on.
I sent him the link.
Oh, okay.
I sent him the link. But I agree with you, Filmalitas. Ronan was one of the weaker villains in the MCU. He was trash.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, he was garbage. So I can completely understand that. But Starro, I thought was okay. I won't say a throwaway villain. I think Geeky Guy, your mic is echoing.
Oh, it's my.
Oh, Poe is here. What up, Poe?
Howdy.
What's going on? Glad you could make it. Yeah,
Poe, you look like me before I got a haircut.
Yeah, you actually need a haircut, but I'm here.
Dude, your hair is fucking puffier than mine.
Hold on, let me get to this K-Dot real quick. Starro wasn't really a bad guy. He just wanted to be left alone. Starro destroyed the city for revenge since he was locked up for 30 years. Absolutely 100%. And I said that's a nice picture, Poe, right there. But what I was gonna say is I agree with you. 100%.
He's like the Black Bill Nye in that picture.
Because I didn't catch it the first time, but the second time when he says he was happy in space before he dies, I was like, shit, that's fucked up, right? Because now
it's deeper than it seems, man. I'm telling you.
It is. It's deeper than it seems, man. Because like I said, I didn't catch that, and you just okay. Star Wars just trying to kill people, whatever. But then when you hear that, and when I heard that, I was like, oh shit. So that just shows me that he was happy in space, and the humans, the Americans, came and fucked his shit up, which is what Americans
you know what it is, Anzo?
Well, and Anzo, I bet you he has a much more, he has a bigger affinity for Canadians like you.
Maybe.
You know what it is? This movie is really a movie about governments looking at people, whether it's the country, like how they were going to just abandon that country, or looking at Starro, the alien, or the Suicide Squad themselves. It's about looking at people as objects to complete an objective. For like the structure, the power structure, and then you see how those people can those things can bite back. Like they created the monster by taking Starro out. They redeemed some of the Suicide Squad by sending them in this mission. They saw who they were supposed to be. Like you see the effects of what they were doing to these countries. Like it's really that's what the movie is about, man. Like that's kind of a deep sentiment that I thought was interesting. I didn't think the first movie explored any of that shit. I thought it was just like, hey, what are we, some kind of Suicide Squad? Like it was just they were trying too hard, man. Like this movie actually made a point about something. And
so are you gonna completely ignore the scenes before with fucking Deadshot and his daughter? And are you gonna completely ignore all the deleted scenes with Harley and the Joker? Are you gonna completely ignore the bar scene entirely?
The stuff with Joker was trash.
And we can't talk about the deleted scenes because they weren't in the movie. So a lot of people haven't seen the deleted scenes. I've seen them, right? And fans or whatever, like who like to see all that shit, will watch them. But can't talk about the deleted scenes. But Joker was absolutely trash in the movie. He was the worst Joker ever.
I'm not gonna defend. I am not gonna defend Jared Leto's Joker. That's one.
And
part
you're right. They did a couple of good things with like Deadshot and his daughter and like the El
Mm-hmm.
Diablo emotional stuff, but those were just basic emotional beats we've seen a million times. I don't know how many times in a comic book movie I've seen somebody explore like military interventionism and like how the government just views everything as an objective, like a useless object. Even people and countries and aliens, like they just look at everything as like it's like American exceptionalism. You know, that's interesting, man.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Let me just make this clear. What the last Suicide Squad movie did a better what's the word? What's the word? I'm trying to think of like a better resolve for Deadshot and his daughter than this movie did for Bloodsport and his daughter. Because Bloodsport was a fucking horrible father to his daughter.
Again, you said that, and I will get to that point in a second. I want to hear what Poe has to say. He just popped in. What's up, Poe? Let's see what you're gonna say about the movie, and keep talking. I'll be right back.
I pretty much enjoyed the movie. I give it probably like a strong 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. Suicide Squad 2016, I will give it a 5 and a 5.5 out of 10. So
yeah, me too. It's an average movie, but I really enjoyed it.
But you're sitting there trying to rip this movie apart like it didn't have great moments and great parts.
Dude, throughout this fucking movie, I kind of wish I wanted to commit suicide too.
This movie, people give James Gunn, they like he's a director. They give him shit for making a movie and his creative differences that he has with. He brought in characters that nobody really knows. I say 85% of characters he brought.
How is this movie any different?
I'm gonna bring it down to 70% of characters in DC that nobody even knew of and made them likable. Polka Dot Man. That was probably the best character in the movie.
Ahead, bro. Mm-hmm.
And it's not a joke. Like people say, they play him off as a joke, showing his mom. Like when he said that your mom, where is she now? And he said she's everywhere. I'm like, wow. Then they finally gave us that like 20 minutes later that he actually see his mom everywhere. He fucking psycho. And Idris Elba, whatever his name is, he said, like where is she now? Like she's everywhere. They said that in the theater when they were first meeting each other. Like it's a callback, playback. That was perfectly done.
And I'll say this to you, Paul. When I first seen the trailers for Polka Dot Man, I thought he was going to be the character that I was going to hate the most out of everybody. I was like, this guy's going to be absolute trash. It looks like his fucking, like, who gives a fuck about this dude throwing polka dots, right? But when they show that he's literally being tortured by his polka dots, like, they make no mistakes about it. His polka dots are torturing him. And that's what I liked about that. So he had to get rid of him.
And another thing with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
He was abused as a child, basically.
Right.
His mom did that to the whole family. I want to know that story.
And Poe, I'm sorry, I have to really vehemently disagree with you on Polka Dot Man. He was fucking trash. Okay, the movie did nothing interesting with his backstory about his mom abusing him. They just shoved him to the side and turned him into a complete joke and have him die a meaningless death. He's not like and let me address what K. Dot said about El Diablo. I vehemently disagree with that too. El Diablo was not done poorly. Like they actually gave like a really interesting backstory about why he was such a pacifist and why he refused to and why he rarely ever goes into like full violent mode. It's because the last time he used his powers, he murdered his whole family by accident, and he swore off violence because of that. And towards the end of the movie, he learns to use his violence to use his powers to be a good guy again. And then in the end of the movie, his arc goes full circle and he dies a good guy, saving the world and saving his friends. To me, El Diablo alone was more well developed than anybody in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Fight me. I'll die on that hill.
First off, he was not more where film kicked out. He was not more developed than Idris Elba's character. He was not better than, and if you want to put it a certain way, him and Polka Dot Man were kind of the same type of characters, right? Because
Right.
Polka Dot Man,
No.
yeah, Polka Dot Man didn't want to fight. He didn't want to kill nobody, but he had no choice but to at towards
For
the
two
end.
different reasons. El Diablo didn't want to fight because he was a pacifist, and because the last time he used his powers, he killed his whole family. Polka Dot Man didn't want to fight because he was a fucking pussy.
It wasn't about being
El
a pussy.
Diablo didn't want to fight because he was a pussy. And
No,
then,
not because he was a pussy.
Until Will Smith said to him, "Hey man," he said this little one line, and he came back.
Are you gonna help us? Are you gonna help us?
Yeah. Thank you.
I
He was
kind
a
of,
pussy the whole fucking movie.
I kind of found it funny.
That wasn't funny. You just said he killed his whole family. That's not funny. Now he came back stronger than ever. Come on, bro.
Okay.
Polka Dot Man was well better than El Diablo.
No, not even close. No.
And hold on, before I forget, let me answer your question real quick about fucking Jason Lee. You want to come in? Let me know, man.
Please, Jason.
About you saying Idris Elba Bloodsport was not a good father. Yes, he was. The fact that he did what he did was because he knew he was not good enough for his daughter, and his daughter deserved better. So he was trying to keep her away from him. Now, maybe he wasn't a good father because he wasn't there when she was growing up or whatever, but we don't really know why, but he's a villain, right? So he was out doing his shit. But when the minute Amanda Waller threatened his daughter, that's when he went on the mission. It was to protect her. So it wasn't that he was a bad father. He cared deeply about his daughter. He just knew that he wasn't good enough to be in her life.
Those followed the instincts.
You want to know? You want to know the thing about his daughter that amounted to? It just amounted to her watching him kick ass on TV, and that's it. In the end of the movie, we never see them together again. We never see them like resolve their little angst towards each other. Nothing. Just, hey, that's my dad kicking ass, and that's it.
Did you see Will Smith and his daughter at the end of the movie?
Yeah, and did you not forget about that scene where he was trying to help out? Yeah, with his daughter helping her out with her algebra homework. Do you not remember that?
Nah, that movie was trash, so I barely remember a lot from that movie.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it was way better than whatever the fuck James Gunn put out. That's for sure.
Take care, Job. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Much respect on that. Spectrum said, the real question is, why is anyone defending that first movie?
Because the first movie had better chemistry between the characters and was actually fucking funny.
No, it did not. The chemistry in this movie between the characters were fucking amazing, especially at the end when Harley Quinn and Harley Quinn and Bloodsport are standing there, and she's like, "Oh, Rick Flag was my friend," and he's like, "Yeah, he was my friend too." You know what I mean?
Your friend too. You Bloodsport. Okay, look, Harley saying Rick Flag was his friend kind of makes sense, but Bloodsport barely fucking knew Rick Flag.
That's not true because you see, you didn't watch the movie. They served together. Amanda Waller says that Bloodsport and Rick Flag served together. So
and I forgot about that. See, that's how forgettable this movie is. I didn't remember that. Anyways,
Why are you? I got a question. Why are you comparing the movie to that movie? Why didn't continue? Hold on. If that movie was so great, why didn't continue on with that movie?
I never said it was great.
Well, 2016. Okay, you didn't say it was great, but why is that a better movie than the one that just came out now? Why can't this be just a good movie that you just seen?
Because I wanted to look. I was willing to go into James Gunn's Suicide Squad to eat crow, okay? I was willing to eat crow for this movie. I was willing to go into it saying, okay, if this movie proves me wrong and I end up liking it, I'll admit I'm wrong live on stream. But no, I didn't. So, not a single joke in this movie made me laugh. And Spectre, to answer your question, name one joke in this movie that was actually fucking funny.
The Milton one.
Oh, the Milton one was fucking hilarious.
Dude,
that was hilarious, bro.
There was something so small that they made so big. It was amazing, dude.
Oh yeah, and the joke about a shark, about a fucking king shark pointing at his hand, that was hysterical too.
No, that was low.
It would have been a lot more funny if they didn't show it in the trailer. So that was an issue with that
How
one.
is it fucking funny? It's just him pointing to his hand. How is that comedy?
Because that shows you that fucking King Shark is an idiot. That's the point of it, right? To show
You
you
know,
that.
if you want to show that your character is an idiot, having him point to his hand, that's just no. If you really want to show he's an idiot, show how he disobeys orders because he can't interpret orders
That's some
properly.
geeky guy. You taking 10 seconds out of a film and trying to drag it through the mud. That's 10 seconds. That's a 10-second joke. Come on, man. You gotta do better.
You know, yeah, for real.
And the running joke about blood sports rat phobia gave me a fucking headache. It was not funny.
I got a phobia of rats. I mean, I got a phobia of heights.
Also,
I
how they
mean,
worked that into, like, when he
well,
explained why he was afraid of them, that was emotional, dude. Like, it wasn't.
No,
just
it was
a joke.
not.
Like,
It really wasn't.
Because, okay,
Oh, and- yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Paul.
No, go ahead, fam.
No, I was gonna say, and the scene to where he was about to eat fucking rat catcher, and then she's like, "Oh, do you have friends?" And he's like, "You don't have friends." You know what I mean? That was fucking amazing scene, right? Those are the emotional scenes that you seem to be missing, you know?
Really, that was emotional to you. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's go back to the chemistry between the characters. You said the chemistry was amazing. What was amazing about it? All they fucking do throughout this movie is hate on each other and fight amongst each other. And it's only until the end of the movie that they start teaming up, legitimately teaming up, because the plot
Dude,
requires.
these are criminals. You expect them to love each other? These are criminals. I mean, they only there for themselves to get years off their sentence. What do you expect? And thank you, Spectre Entertainment. Polka Dot seeing his mom was fucking funny as fuck. When we first
That wasn't funny to me. That was not funny. That wasn't funny to me. It was just a straight up what the fuck moment. It didn't make
But you
me laugh.
see,
that was
this
amazing.
is the thing, though. Humor is subjective. So if you didn't,
what was
find
funnier
it funny,
in the first movie
I get it.
when Killer Croc said he had BET?
BET?
Fucking,
Oh, are you gonna completely? No. If there's one funny joke about the Killer Croc, I'll say this. It's like when he told Harley, "I'm not ugly, I'm beautiful." That was fucking funny to me. And another
Really?
thing, that was, and to me, and another joke, and then hold on. And another joke that was pretty funny to me is towards the end of the movie, where they have to put the bomb underwater, but they can't swim because it's too deep. And then Killer Croc looks at them and is like, "I live in the sewers. Y'all are just fucking tourists. Y'all are just tourists." That was pretty funny. I'll say that.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Killer Croc.
You're
Go
the
ahead.
one. You are the one who said humor is subjective. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you find that funny, no problem. But you do know Killer Croc is a fucking stereotype, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down.
also,
Killer Croc
if,
is a stereotype.
if humor is subjective, then you can't really use that as a criticism of the film.
Good point. That's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't still hate the humor in this movie.
Oh yeah, you can.
That's
hate
true.
whatever you want.
I sent you the link,
point.
Spectrum, if you want to come in too. Or KDOS, you guys.
Look, if you guys, no, I got
Oh, just so geeky guy. You still haven't answered. Like,
I gotta head out in 30 minutes. So
I did, Jason. Yeah, no problem. No problem. You can catch the shit from us for 30 minutes, bro, because we're gonna be on your ass for 30 minutes.
I want to know what he liked about the movie instead of just what he hated.
Okay, fine.
Okay, good question.
I only liked 3 things about this movie, just 3 things.
All right.
Harley Quinn,
Fuck yeah.
Ratcatcher 2, she was okay.
Yes.
And the action scenes, because I'm gonna give the devil his due here. I don't like James Gunn as a director, but he can at least direct action. I'll give him that. Those are the only 3 things I liked about it.
Not only direction, though. He can take a bunch of characters and have them on screen and have them all have decent screen time. This is what he does. And that's why he mixed Harley Quinn, Bloodshot, Polka Dot Man. You get
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Yeah, my bad. You get all of them in a decent amount of screen time where you can learn backstories about them, and they're not just people that are doing shit for certain reasons. They all had a reason for why they were doing shit, or else they would have just all told fucking Amanda Waller, hell no.
You know, Anzo, it's kind of funny that you mixed up Deadshot and Bloodsport's name, because Bloodsport in this movie is literally just discount Deadshot.
I said I wouldn't say discount, but I would also say that the character was written for Deadshot.
I mean, the only way you can say discount is because Will Smith probably get paid more than Idris, whatever his
Idris did a good job in this movie. I don't care what anybody wants to say.
Great job.
I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Great job. You cannot fault any character that was the main characters. They all villains. They're all criminals.
And right.
So what if they're criminals? At least give them meaningful chemistry together.
So now
we hate each other.
There's another thing. There's another thing we talked about on the post, which we will discuss too, which you said about the characters dying in the first beginning of the movie. What did you think about that?
Dude, when they killed off Boomerang, when they killed off Captain Boomerang, I was like, okay, I'm starting to hate this movie already. And what the fuck was with Weasel? What the fuck was with Weasel? Jesus
that was hilarious.
No, that was not hilarious. What was so hilarious about
that? Was hilarious. MSK sent a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Said 2016 SS. I just direct people to the nearest trash can. Absolutely. That movie is trash, bro. 100%. And when the Weasel fucking jumps out of the plane and drowns. Yo, I was dying.
That was not funny. Not to me. If the 2016 is if the 2016 Suicide Squad movie is a trash can, James Gunn Suicide Squad is a fucking dumpster fire.
But you said
no. Hold on. It's actually a landfill. That's what it is. A fucking landfill.
So let's do this, right? Keep talking, guys, and I'm just gonna bring up a few things. So go ahead, keep talking. Go ahead, Paul. What you're saying, and then Phil will lead us your takes
about the Weasel. Like I said in the chat earlier, there's a theory that he was being a weasel. Weasel was gonna wheeze like a sly fox. Maybe he faked his death or whatever like that, and he's gonna, they think he's dead, so he still got that bomb. She won't.
Yeah.
He think he's dead. He's still out running wild, killing children, whatever he's gonna do, being crazy. But I would like to see that backstory. But the biggest joke to me in this movie, the detachable kit.
That's fucking stupid.
I'm like, and his arms went around slapping people. He didn't take a gun and shoot it at him. They could have made him, but it was always supposed to be played as a joke. This is James Gunn. That wasn't the real cast and crew. Don't let the trailers misdirect you from what the movie is supposed to be. And that's what I took it as. Because they were a joke. That's how I took it. After I seen the first 15 minutes of the movie, I'm like, okay. But I did get upset with that first guy who threw the ball and hit the bird. Michael, what's his name?
Yeah, Michael Roker.
Okay. Yeah. But before you guys continue, I want to address this comment.
What's up, Lantern?
Okay, Chris P, what are you, like my fucking mother or something? Because you're telling me what to do and shit. Or what are you, like my fucking mom?
It's calm down. Just don't worry about it, geeky guy. It's all good. I got it. Don't worry about.
Hey man, I recognize. Lantern. I recognize your face. You were on one of Rob's streams, right?
Yeah, I'm on a bunch of these different streams a lot of times. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So first off, let me show this real quick. What's up, Lantern? Glad you can make it.
Put the people with the cameras on up top.
Don't tell me what to do, bro. So first off, this is the Suicide Squad that you are saying is great, right? Okay, it's better than the first one. Now, again, I take Rotten Tomatoes with a grain of salt, but this is just an example. So this is 26% with a critics rating and 59% audience rating.
So what? Right? So what?
That's the original.
That's half the audience liked it.
Right. So
more
now we'll
half.
go to
more than half.
Now we go to 2021.
Okay, what are you trying to get at with this?
92% Rotten Tomatoes critics, 84 audience. Now it's only 1,000 people plus, so we'll wait till more people get into that. But I still say it's around. It could go higher or stay around 80, right?
Okay.
But
just on Geeky Guy, I'm sorry. This is $28 million spent that people feel that way. Really?
Okay.
They $28 million this weekend. 26.
Yeah, about 28.
Yeah, 70 million worldwide.
That's how they feel so far.
Okay, Anzo, I just have to ask, why should I care what a fucking percentage your number has to say? Well,
because
why should
it gives you an idea that people are liking the movie, right? So you not liking the movie, you are in the minority right now.
So what?
You thinking the first one is better is in the minority. I'm just saying. I take Rotten Tomatoes with a grain of salt. My point is that you are in the minority. So why should I care that I'm in the minority? Why is that? Doesn't matter if you care or not. I'm just telling you the situation. I'm in the minority when I say that the fucking Nolan movies are trash. I know that, but I'm in the minority. So the consensus is that it's a good movie. That's the point. New Roof has sent a $5 super chat. DC fans who hating are just spoiled from the Snyder cut. It's a James Gunn movie.
It's Snyder.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. Just expect to be entertained or disappointed. That's James Gunn. So first off, since Lantern just popped in there, I want to hear what Lantern has to say. What do you think of the movie, Lantern?
Okay, can I just address something before Lantern finishes point? Or
go ahead.
No, let Lantern go, then you can address your point. Go ahead, Lantern.
Well, I thought it was way better than that first Suicide Squad movie, man. And I watched that 2016 one right after I saw the HBO Max one because you could do that. They're on the same service here. Dude, there's in every conceivable way, the new one does it better. Like the jokes land better, the actual pacing of the movie is better, the storyline is well thought out. You know what I'm saying? Much more than the first movie. There's a part in that first movie where Joel Kinnaman and Enchantress get to the city first, right? Before the rest of Task Force X, and it makes no goddamn sense. It's just a big old mess to bridge that movie together. Very painful to watch. This new one has no problems like that. Everything makes sense. There's a lot.
Disagree.
Let him finish.
Where's the?
Hold on. Let him finish. Then you can disagree. You want him to answer? Go ahead. What do you disagree with?
Okay. First of all, the thing about you said about this movie having like what did you say? Like it had a better plot.
It had better logic to it. Everything
better logic to it.
Yeah.
Better logic to it. So let me ask you something. How come the United States government was shocked at the existence of aliens in fucking Man of Steel, but act all of a sudden surprised? Like we're shocked, but then this movie says, "Oh no, we knew about aliens since Starro."
Well, they kept it a secret, just like Amanda Waller keeps everything a secret, right?
That's a DC problem.
And Green Lantern came out before Man of Steel. They all mentioned that was the first alien encounter. Right?
That's not a movie problem. That's a
choose,
problem.
Dude. What are we gonna do?
And Anzo, I just want to say, Ghostbusters 2016 has a high rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So does that mean that you're in the minority for hating Ghostbusters?
Again, I said take it with a grain of salt. I'm just letting you know that's it. Yeah.
The reason that's important to bring up is because people like me that shit on the DCEU every chance I get, because it's fucking trash to me most of the time. When I see a movie like this and it blows my socks off, and the majority of the audience can admit, like people that don't like the DCEU can admit, hey, this was a fucking great movie, they must have done something right.
What's the audience score on that?
For which one? Ghostbusters?
Yeah, what's the audience score on that one?
I will check that one right now. What up, K-Dot? What you saying?
I just came in and say what's up real quick. I'm going to be home soon, and I'll hop on the stream with you guys if you're still streaming. I'm about to head out. Just want to come on and say what's up real quick. Y'all know me. I love Suicide Squad 2021, not 2016.
And
was that a
action was better? Can we talk about how good the action was in this movie compared to like the first Suicide Squad? What action scene from the first Suicide Squad?
Not even a question.
Surpassed any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like
that one Harley Quinn scene where she's just fighting those guys out of, and that's not even
in the hallway.
Great of a moment.
Yeah, that's the best.
That one scene.
That was the best scene in the whole movie, if you ask me.
So are you gonna completely ignore the action scene, the first Suicide Squad movie, where Harley was jumping towards the plane where Joker was, and fucking Amanda Waller was trying to blow her head off?
Hey, bud, I don't remember.
Are you also
Hey,
gonna ignore
wait,
that scene
wait.
where she fucking bashes a Enchantress minion's head with a fucking baseball? Are you also gonna ignore the final battle with them and Enchantress? Are you also going to fucking ignore?
That's why we're
what else? What else?
I'm not ignoring it. I forgot about it because it sucks so bad. I flushed it out of my mind.
Forgot about it.
Yeah, they're not that great.
Geeky, that whole hallway fight with Harley is better than all of Harley's action scenes in the 2016. That hallway fight
Facts.
was done very well.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Great soundtrack.
100%.
And also, I'd like to bring up another plot hole.
Hold on, Geeky guy. No, I want to get to the super chat. Hold on. Master MSK sent $2. He said SS 2016 have no members who die, no stakes. That is correct. Now you can go, Geeky guy. What up, Jason?
Really? Okay, I'm gonna address. I'm gonna address MSK's super chat in a bit, but why didn't the fucking general just kill Harley Quinn right then and there? She didn't serve any purpose to him whatsoever.
He wanted to know.
Kill her?
He wanted to know how much people were coming in and how much members she had with her.
But he already knew. But he already had all the information he needed. Why didn't he just kill her afterwards?
No, he didn't.
What information?
No, he didn't. He didn't know how many Suicide Squad members were there.
As a president
she said 69.
Leader of a country, he didn't know how many moles was in his country at the time.
And then she said,
commission.
right, and then she said 69, which was a joke, right? And he's like, 69, how did you get 69 in there?
Right.
And then he whispers in the ear, and then he's like, oh, okay. So he's like, keep her alive, and we'll figure out, when she does. So that's the reason why. Another $2 super chat from MSK. Just Slipknot and El Diablo, 2 people die. Like, come on.
Okay, look. Slipknot's death, he died exactly like how he did in the comics. Okay, and as for El Diablo, the guy's death, his arc went full circle with his death. He died a fucking hero, saving the world and saving his fucking friends. Okay, name one death in James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie that was meaningful. I dare you.
Rick Flag.
Rick Flag's death meant fucking
100%.
nothing.
What?
It was the whole shift in the movie right here.
Wait.
Go ahead, MSK. I mean, K-Dot.
Geeky, for Rick Flag, his character has developed tremendously.
How?
Let me give an example. In the previous film, Rick Flag would never offered up to go save Harley. He went out of his way to go risk his life to save Harley when they could have left her. Also, him wanting to be a soldier and get all that information to the American people, not let the government hide that information anymore. He wanted to help. He wanted that information to get out to the people and stop hiding the government's dirty little secrets. His character has developed.
100%.
He became more. He respects all of his team members. Bloodsport, Ink Shark. He developed as a character, and he did something.
Also, K-Dot, can I just add something?
He wanted to get that information out in the world, but in the end of the movie, it didn't end up going out. It's just hey, if you do anything, we're gonna leak this out. It never went out in the end. Like, he wanted to die for his country to know the truth. And yet, in this movie, what makes his death even more demeaning is that they had Peacemaker out of all people kill him.
I think it makes it realistic.
Because Geeky, this is the thing. The Bloodsport needed to do that so they can have leverage.
It's Geeky Guy, by the way.
Geeky Guy. Well, the reason they did that is because they needed leverage. If they didn't do that, let's say if they leaked the information, Amanda Waller would have killed them anyways. They already leaked the info. She would have blew them up and killed them. They needed that as leverage. So they had to do that. They had to compromise. The Bloodsport said, "And that's what we do. We got to make a compromise." It did
exactly. And then that's when
realistic.
And that's
you don't have to.
Go ahead
to get exactly what you want. That doesn't make his death less impactful because the stakes of what were happening in the moment. If anything, it makes it more impactful because it's like, yeah, he died and he didn't die totally in vain, but he didn't get everything you wanted either. Like, we had to compromise. Like, nothing's perfect. Like, it's not a perfect world. Like, you're not going to get everything you want. That's like saying like ambiguous endings are shit automatically because they don't tell you everything that you're supposed to know.
What the fuck about Rick Flagg's death was like meaningful, impactful, and the fact that you compared it to ambiguous endings, like say Inception's ending, that was just you're comparing apples to oranges, dude. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. It's a direct comparison because you're saying that you didn't get the conclusion you wanted, so his death is less meaningful.
And no, it's not the conclusion I wanted. It's the conclusion he needed, not what I wanted.
Why did he need it?
Diablo death didn't mean shit to me in the movie. He didn't.
It did to me. It did to me.
And that's the thing, right? How do we know that maybe Rick Flag wouldn't have tried to save his friends at the end of the movie anyways, right? Because you can see what happened, right? Amanda Waller literally says that they are to leave because the fact that that country was going against America and that the fucking starfish was destroying it. She's like, this could be great for us, right? So she's like, you got to leave. Rick Flag wouldn't have left. The character that he turned into, he would have been like, nah, fuck that. We're not leaving. We're going to help these people just like Bloodsport did. So that shows the growth of his character. So he would have had to have made a deal with Amanda Waller with the same information that he had. He would have had to do the same thing. So we don't know if Rick Flag would have just sent it out there or if he would have made the same deal that Bloodsport did. But his death just showed...
No, not Bloodsport, sorry. Rick Flag explicitly said that he wanted the whole country of the United States to know about it.
Right, but that was before Amanda Waller ordered everybody out and let the fucking country fend for itself. Right, so we don't know if Rick Flag would have agreed with that, and with the way his character was going at that point, he definitely would not have agreed with that order.
There's no way Rick Flag, based on that movie, would have let Ratcatcher and all those people on the team die so that they could get that out to the press.
Right.
In the end, he would have the same fucking deal.
100%.
And also, we also cannot forget.
Okay.
Rick
Hold on, Geeky. Go ahead, K-Dot.
Also, Rick Flag said he wanted to help the rebels. They ended up helping the rebels by allowing them to get the chance to kill the new president. Yes. So Rick Flag, Rick Flag was able to finish up one more thing before he died.
Okay. Since you brought up the rebels, I have to ask you, why the fuck didn't the commander of that rebellion go against Rick Flag because his team killed off their fellow rebels then?
Because as she said in the movie, I would make a deal with the devil to save my country. That's why.
And she needed soldiers. And
yes,
King Shark and them was
but why would she okay, look, fuck making a deal with the devil. Why would she trust some people who killed their own fucking rebels to like
because she trusted Rick Flag. She didn't trust the rest of them. She trusted Rick Flag. That's what she says. But before we get one more thing from you, Geeky Guy, I want to hear what Jason Lee said. What up, Jason Lee?
And Jason, what's going on? Jason Lee, can I ask you something? Did you get pulled over? Did you get locked up for breaking and entering or something? Why the fuck are you streaming from prison?
Just streaming, man. Streaming.
Go ahead.
I'm not I watch the movies. Watching the movie, I like comic book movies and stuff. I'm like into comics, like some of y'all guys are. I think I was watching one of Anzo's chats, and at first, the first time I saw the movie, I wasn't impressed. It was still rewatchable, I thought. But Anzo said, watch it again, and I watched it again, and I actually, after the second time, there's a lot of meanings and stuff in the movie. Like he's saying there, like the starfish, with the lady with the rats and stuff. There's a lot with her and her father. I thought it was a good. I liked it better than the first one, the first one that came out. So, I think Poe said a good 7.58. At first I gave it a lower, but after rewatching, I gave it about an 8.0. It's a rewatchable movie. It's a good movie. it has its faults, like every movie's come out. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen Black Widow yet, so I've heard both sides on that one. So, when I see that, I can judge on that one. But I thought it was a movie I'll watch again. I've seen it twice now, and I could watch it again. I'm not a big John Cena fan. I was sort of happy when he got killed, but then I didn't know about this. Okay,
the end scene.
I didn't know about the fight, but I went back when I saw it, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, we're spoiling it. Go ahead, bro.
We're spoiling enough.
Yeah.
Anzo, can I have to head out in 10 minutes, but in the 10 minutes I have left, can I address Newforis's super chat?
Well, let me read it first. Let me read it first. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Polka Dots Man death was a meaningful tearjerker.
How was it a meaningful tearjerker? On what fucking planet? Hold on. Hey, I'm talking. On what fucking planet was his death a meaningful tearjerker? If the fucking Starro's fucking tentacle falls on him and he dies like a fucking idiot.
Anybody else want to answer that?
When he came out and said,
he was
"Hey, I'm a superhero now."
Yeah, he's a superhero.
Dude, I was like, "Oh my god, this dude!"
I liked him.
Found purpose in his life.
I get what they were trying to go with Polka Dot Man, but the execution, the way they handled it, was fucking.
The way he sang his sisters and brothers died,
they played it more for laughs than for seriousness. Like El Diablo alone had more development than Polka Dot Man. I'm seriously.
El Diablo was a puss until Will Smith said one line. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Lantern, what do you think?
Look who's talking. But Polka Dot Man was a bigger fucking pussy than he ever was.
No, but he overcame his fear.
Bro. He believed in himself at the end of the movie. Before he died. Yeah. He didn't believe himself till the end before he died.
Yeah.
And that's what
El Diablo knew what he could do.
That's exactly it.
El Diablo watched his teammates die before Will Smith said something, but Polka Dot Man didn't know it until somebody spoke inspiration into him. That was way
inspiration into him, and then he died like a fucking idiot. And El Diablo died like a fucking hero. This guy died like a fucking
idiot.
And
then hold on. Another thing that I will say too, this is what you are completely missing as well. Those polka dots were fucking killing him. You understand? Those polka dots, every time they came out, you could see the pain on his face. He had to get rid of them.
River.
Oh, he said at least twice a day. He has to throw them off.
100%.
Yeah, when he went to the jungle and he threw them off real quick they were like, and he's like, come out with that face. It's like, oh my god.
Film and leaders. I'm sorry. Green Lantern. What do you say?
Nothing more. Polka Dot Man. That power was horrific, dude.
Okay. I gotta apologize. Yeah. I gotta apologize for the little like outburst I did. Like
it's okay. It's your passion, bro. We know. I mean, they don't know because they haven't streamed with you before, but I know it. No one takes anything personal on here. Don't worry about that, bro. It's all good. Yeah. We know your passion. We know your passion. You know.
Yeah.
But I personally love this movie. Like I said, it's better than the first one, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. It's better than the first one, and I've watched it 3 times already. I watched it 3 times.
You know what, guys? Even if all of you love this movie and I didn't, I'll just say this: you guys can have this one to enjoy. I'll have the 2016 one to enjoy.
Oh, facts, man! If you like the 2016,
we're still friends. No hard. To quote Will Smith in the previous movie, no hard feelings, right?
Yeah. Damn right.
that is $40 that I didn't spend on a 4K movie that I'm glad I didn't spend it on. I'm being serious.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
But hey, when I seen it, it was okay. So much unnecessary things in that movie, but this one, it actually came together. It actually means something. It means a little bit more than 2016 version. And I love both of the movies are good. I had fun with both, but this one was a little bit better.
And I love I love the transitions. Yeah, geeky guy, take care, man.
Transitions.
If you gotta go, thanks. You know
no. I have like 5 minutes left, so I'll
okay. When you see like Operation, Starfish, and then it breaks away and it goes to Harley Quinn or this, I love that stuff. I thought it was so cool, man. And again, the 8 minutes rewind and then the going back and forth, I also like that as well.
And I'm so glad that they didn't follow Joss Whedon's first Avengers movie, 2012, where they gonna nuke the city. They didn't nuke the city. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't do that. James Gunn did his own thing.
Yeah,
but if you think about it, from a realistic point of view, don't you think they should have done it?
Well, the Americans wouldn't do it because the Americans were already trying to make it look like they had nothing to do with what was going on in the country. Plus, the country was also against America. So Amanda Waller thought she could use that to help her out in whatever political shit or whatever she wanted to do, man.
Now, Anzo, when y'all was talking earlier, you in film Elitist? I can't pronounce it. Yeah. When y'all was talking about Amanda Waller, how she did just wipe that whole fucking staff out. Maybe it's coming in the future because Amanda Waller will really they'll be done. Seriously.
No, I agree with you 100%. That's what I said. Maybe they're going to show it in a different movie. It's just for me, when they cut to the scene and she's holding her head, I would have felt it better if they had cut to that scene where she was holding her head and everybody in that room was dead. You know what I mean?
Honest, I would have been so satisfied. She would have threw a gas grenade, locked them in there, and we don't know if they died or not. Just leave it to our perspective, whatever you want to see it. Oh, damn, they died in that room or they didn't die. That would have been so sad. 30-second shot of that would have been amazing.
Guys, here's a question I want to ask all of you. So, considering how badly this movie is doing at the box office, let's say this movie in the future, hypothetically, it does really bad at the box office. Do you think they'll make another one? And do you think James Gunn will return for a sequel?
They already announced that.
They're going to make another one.
COVID,
James Gunn's already returning.
COVID and HBO Max is what screwed this movie.
Yeah, that's the only.
It almost made as much as Black Widow. It's open.
If you wouldn't have had HBO Max and the COVID situation, this movie would have made $100 million.
Black Widow only made the money it made because it's Marvel. This movie actually did pretty good during COVID. The new strain is coming out, and people are
the Delta variant.
I sent Anzo a video. I'm fucking in Atlanta at the fucking Atlanta Falcons game. And so, I mean, some people take it serious, some people don't. I mean,
yeah.
Where you at.
Here's a question: Who watched it in the theater here, and who watched it on HBO Max?
I watched it. Keep this in mind, Jason. I actually bought a ticket for $17 to see this in theaters, but then I found out it was coming. It was premiering early on HBO Max, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck the theater. I'm watching it at home.
Oh, so say me, I watched it on HBO Max. That's $17. You're $17. Poe, did you watch it in theater?
I watched it in theater. I got AMC A+. So I paid $21 a month to watch 3 movies a week. So that's 12
wow.
Mine and Geek Guys and whoever watching on HBO, that money doesn't count. See, they don't get that money.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people. If they actually seen if HBO Max would release their numbers, how many people watched it, that movie would have made way more probably than Black Widow and Fast 9. And all that.
I agree with Nufa Rufus. I agree with Nufus.
Yeah, Idris Elba's mask was fire. And I like the fact that he wore it a lot in the movie, right? Because in the first one, Will Smith wears his mask twice.
Yep.
If that.
Yeah. I was underwhelmed by that too.
I like Idris Elba
wears his mask a lot. I like that.
Can I ask you a favor?
Go ahead.
So when Shang-Chi comes out next month, do you want to review it on my channel?
Yeah, sure, no problem, man. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me just
I seen
real quick. Off
go ahead.
Thing, we're kind of assigning an arbitrary value to that when the landscape of how films are being digested by people are changing. You can't underestimate how much streaming is changing things, especially with HBO Max and Disney Plus now launching in the last couple of years, or just in the last year and a half, and then COVID happening. It's kind of the world is changing, the landscape is changing, technology is changing. Those things are going to mean less and less as more people ingest movies at home streaming.
Elitist, to address something.
What's up, I love. Go ahead.
To address something you said, considering how streaming is changing everything, do you think they'll go a Disney Plus route and have it where you have to pay $30, $40, $50 to watch it at home, but you got to go to the theater to
with this lawsuit with Scarlett? No.
Yeah, guys, actually, to be honest with you, I would prefer the Disney Plus option, because even if I have to pay $30, I actually calculated how much it costs for me to go to a theater versus watching it at home. If I were to pay to see $30 to watch Black Widow at home, that's actually cheaper than a trip to the theater, because I'm going to be paying for the ticket,
popcorn,
and for the Uber trip to pay for Uber, and for the food. That in total costs me anywhere between $60 to $70.
I totally disagree.
Yeah, but for at home, I could just pay $30
No.
and that's it. I'd save so much money.
$20 a month. I can see 12 movies a month. I pay $20 a month. I can see it in IMAX and Dolby with my seat shape.
Yeah, but not everybody. Not everybody has that.
Hold on, but that's what I'm saying. I disagree with him. What he's saying. You know, so and it's only 15, 17 minutes away from my house.
I also think the thing
I
about
can sneak
them having
in my flask. I can bring in my vodka. I can bring in my corn dogs from Sonic if I want to. I can bring in French fries. Anything I want.
Not everybody can do that though.
Well,
and guys, I have to head out now. But it was really, even though I vehemently disagree with you guys, I still respect all of your opinions. We're still friends. You guys can have the James Gunn movie to enjoy. I'll have the David Ayer one to enjoy. It was really nice having a chat with you guys. I'm gonna go now. So see you next time.
Bro. Take care, geeky guy. Thanks for popping in, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. I can do this next time if you want.
No problem. Peace out.
Also, you care if I just respond to Poe?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
The thing you're saying, like I understand where you're coming from, and there's always going to be people that want to go to the theaters, right? That's not going to ever die off. Just like there's still people that want to listen to vinyl records and shit, right? I mean, it's not going to be that same level of dichotomy, but you get the point I'm making. But the thing with HBO Max having their stuff for free, I think that's a distinct marketing advantage they have over Disney Plus, because they don't have that good faith with the audience that Disney does of like, hey, we've got this connected universe where 80% of our films succeed. They've had a couple of movies that people universally liked. The rest of them have been divisive as fuck. They need people to come watch their movies and keep giving them chances. So having their movies coming out for free on HBO Max is an advantage for them right now. I don't think they're going to change that until they gain that trust with the audience. It's not changing anytime soon.
Hey, Mara, what's up? I'll say this. I agree with you 100%. I just believe that once we get back to normal, then they're not going to do that anymore, because they're not going to make as much money on these movies as they could by putting them on the streaming services right now, right? So right now they have to do it this way, and I have no issues with it. I personally went to go see it in the theater because I got to see it a day early, right? We had a Fantasia festival and was kicking it off, so I was able to see it a day earlier. So I went to go see it in the theater, but I would have went to go see it in the theater anyways, and this is because of all the good word of mouth I was hearing about it, right? A lot of the YouTubers I watch and were like, oh man, this movie is funny, it hits, blah, blah, like that. So I was like, okay, well, you know, people are liking it, and I don't always follow the critics, I don't always follow what people say, but I was like, let me go and see for myself. I'm more excited for it now that a lot of people aren't sitting there saying it's a shit show. And I went in there, and man, I laughed my ass off through this whole movie. Man.
Well, Lonzo, can I ask you this question?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is to you, fam.
Yeah, go ahead, Poe, and then film.
For me, going to the theater, I never experienced the. I don't see why drive-in theaters haven't came back because of COVID, because everybody can be safe in their car with their family. And I never experienced that in my entire life. And I got one 20 minutes away from my house, a drive-in theater, IMAX, and all this. I'm in Atlanta, dude. I got all of it here. So yeah. I'm surprised they haven't came back yet. But another thing I want to say is I got everything I want here to watch a movie. 1,000-watt surround sound system, 7.1 surround sound system. I got a 120-inch projection screen. I got a 4K 3D TV, 65-inch. I can watch it here at my house, no problem. But there is no experience like a theater experience. I don't care what nobody says. There is nothing touching. Nothing.
Especially when you're going to see these movies in IMAX and shit. Hands down.
Shot in IMAX. Yes.
Hands down. Film Elitis, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Aubrey James, you know, I mean, I don't want to make it like a whole thing about this or whatever, but, you know, he was saying we might never get back to normal, you know, like this might be something we have to deal with, like the repercussions of what's happened the last couple of years for the rest of our fucking lives. And that might be true to some degree. Like there might be people that are always going to be afraid to go back out in public and expose themselves because we've got this thing we're dealing with. And, you know, the technology dictates a lot of stuff, right? Like, you know, 10 years ago, we had fucking flip phones. Now people are watching movies on their cell phone, and it has more computing power than the rocket that put the man on the moon. Like, I think streaming and the more that they can do with that stuff and develop that technology and that experience and enhance it, we're going to see more and more that's going to, like, the box office is going to become the old guard. There's always going to be movies that are big events and stuff, but it's going to be less, universal. Just like there's going to be less shows like that too.
That is true, but what is watching it from your phone compared to a theater experience. That's all I want to say. So when COVID goes away within a year or two, a year and a half, is everybody going back to the theaters? I mean, or a streaming service automatically took over in a year or two? That's a question that I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? And that's what they don't know either right now, because like Film Alita said, even if they tell people it's gone, people are still going to be scared to go. Like, they're just going to be like, oh, I'm not 100% sure. They don't fucking believe the government or anything they say anyways, right? So people are still going to be scared to go. So it may be a long time before things get back to normal. But the fact that they're putting these movies out in theaters now, I think that they're going to take away the streaming service. I think Dune is the last one that's going to be coming out on a streaming service. And I think everything else is going to go back to
Matrix 4 was. I don't know if they pushed it back.
They better come out in theaters. I'm gonna say
Matrix is in December unless it gets pushed to 2022.
I think we're going to see more simultaneous releases, because I think it's just like the thing with when COVID happened. A lot of people realized that they could work from home, and they're like, why the fuck would I ever go back to working for somebody in person? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are fucking lazy and they don't want to go out to the theater. I agree with you, Poe. There's nothing like that experience. But for a lot of people, you know, they're fucking, you know, they have one-track minds. They don't care about that. They're in the internet age, man. If they can stay in their house and get high and watch a movie instead of having to go out and pay for the Uber and do all that, you know.
I'll agree. And I call it the age of Ultron, age of the internet.
Well, another problem is piracy has been spiking too.
Absolutely. And you want to know why? Because the minute these movies come on HBO Max with the quality that they have, you can put it on the stream service right away. People are ripping that shit and putting it online right away.
Well, another problem is we're now almost 2 years. Some of these movies been delayed. The studios has got to put them out because they're losing their ass on some of these movies. And you're not going to continue making blockbuster $200 million movies if you're setting on like 10, 20 movies for the last 2 years. You're not going to see nothing for the next 3 years being made. So that's going to put studios, employees, actors. They ain't going to be doing nothing. So they got to push these movies. That's what I heard with Black Widow. The Black Widow, they should have just. I hate to say they should have just ate it and just made a deal with Scarlett and just put it on streaming last year, because that's what really killed the movie, because we waited for that movie so long, and we're trying to advance on to Internals and X-Men and stuff, and we're waiting on a Black Widow movie. That's what caused our Disney Plus shows to be pushed back. So you got to push them out. And like Ghostbusters, they can't. I mean. They're now talking. They're going to delay it now to next year. You got to push it out. Eventually, people's not going to give a damn about it. The movie has been 3 years in storage.
Batman was supposed to be out this year. It was supposed to be out early.
We just don't know based on anything that we have the vaccine here in America, and nothing's really changing. You know what I mean? We don't know that things ever go back to full normal. You know, I'm not trying to be like Mr. Panic up here.
No, you're right. You're right.
That is why they're releasing the Batman in March, and I don't think they're going to delay it again, because they know it's going to be a long time before it goes back to normal. So you might as well try to get as much money as you can.
But the only problem with that is, if Ghostbusters, Top Gun, James Bond gets delayed into March, I don't think they want to put Batman with 4 or 5 other big movies. Cindy goes, delayed this summer and now the fall and this. I mean, eventually, they're just going to have to take a hit, or they're going to have to figure out, it's got to be released somehow.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this, okay? I'm going to look at this because I think Fast and the Furious 9 was the only one that released only in theaters, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
I don't even think it made sense.
I don't think Peacock put it on.
Okay, I'm going to check and see what their box office was for this movie.
Black Widow is higher on domestic, but only reason Fast and Furious 9 because Black Widow didn't get released in China or a few other territories. So
Fast 9 wasn't released in China yet?
No. Fast 9 was, but Black Widow wasn't.
Black Widow wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, Black Widow has a higher domestic box office, but Fast 9 has a bigger worldwide because of being released in China and I think Australia and a couple others.
Black Widow was good, but it was totally unnecessary.
That movie was supposed to come out right after Endgame too. It was like supposed to come out a few months after Endgame. That's crazy.
It should have been released to Disney Plus for executive and then just
this movie that nobody talk about, Morbius. It's supposed to come out next month or in September.
It's supposed to be now in
It was pushed back
February.
again, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's got pushed back.
Because Venom is now pushed to fall. Venom is not coming out in September now. So, and that means Spider-Man's going to be pushed to 2022.
660
million
Fast 9
worldwide.
made 660 something million. Yeah, and then Black Widow made 300.
Which is like dismal compared to what
the day of the $1 billion movies
100%.
for a long time. The day of the $1 billion movies is over.
But you see, this is the question I'm asking now. If Black Widow had strictly went to theaters, I think it would have matched, at least match Fast 9, if not beat it, right?
I'll say 550.
Well, if they got the China release, that's the thing. I mean, it's beaten in domestic, but they didn't get a China release and a 2 or 3 other. I don't think Japan or Australia or some of the other
China
bigger
market's
countries.
huge, bro. That China.
I know.
You lose China, that's 200 million right
China
there.
is actually number 1 in the world when it comes to theater releases.
They have the number 1 release this year. I think it's called some Chinese film. I forget what it's called. But you know.
Yeah. And that's why I think Marvel is banking on with Shang-Chi, right? They want to get that Chinese audience in there because
I don't know why they didn't get. Yeah, I don't know what they didn't get the Chinese, but something they did to not be able to get in China. Black Widow, that's $200 million right there.
Yeah, if it could be even more than that, right? If it's good, right? So, is Black Widow getting a China release though?
I don't know. I mean, if it is, it's late. I mean, you needed that the same day it came out.
I think there might be stuff in that movie that they couldn't show in China too.
See, Fast 9 it's always did Fast and Furious always did big in China. That's why they've had $2 or $3 billion movies, because the Chinese market.
China has very strict rules about what things you're allowed to have in your movies and stuff. I don't know if that human trafficking stuff would even.
They
be
don't
allowed
even
in
have
China.
rated R films.
Yeah, because it's saying here that they're stopping it from being released in China for some reason. I didn't read the article, but I'll read it later to find out. But,
I mean, Ryan Reynolds already approved with Deadpool, and he produced it and put up the money, partial of the money on himself with Deadpool. Rated R made $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need the China market, but that was before COVID.
No, you're right. You're right. But rated R can make $1 billion.
Later from now, the movie theater will come back. It's not dead. Don't believe it's dead.
I hope it's not
dead. I
dead.
think it's just gonna be different.
I hope it's not that, because you guys got to understand something too, right? If they start to do these movies strictly on streaming service, then the quality of the movies are going to drop, because they're not going to be putting $150 million into a movie. They're going to drop on a streaming service. So if you liked Infinity War and Endgame, you better believe that movie would be totally different if it was just strictly going to streaming service.
And Anzo, why they keep continuously shooting these movies in IMAX film if they're not going to be shown in theaters, but you can't see that the beautiful I can't even say the word. You can't even see how beautiful the picture is in the movie, the sound, the way it's intended in IMAX when you're watching it at home on your phone in VR, whatever you're watching it on your TV. It is nothing like that theater experience. So why they keep shooting the movie in IMAX?
Because they know that's where the money is, regardless of what anybody says. The money is putting these movies in theaters, right? It's just that now with the new variant coming out and all this bullshit again, I'm hearing maybe more lockdowns or some shit. I don't know if that's what's going on over there, but right now over here, not so much. But
you can't just depend on the U.S. domestic box office anymore. You got to have China. You got to have India. You got to have Japan. You got to have Australia. I mean, if you're not, because a lot of those countries, I think India and Australia, they're like completely shut down still. In some of European countries, you can't get those box offices, you're screwed. I mean, I made $250 million in the U.S., but that's just breaking even. So they depend on them foreign box office now. It ain't like the old days where it was U.S. You made $100 million in U.S. Oh, you're doing good. Now, if you don't, 150 is nothing in U.S. now.
These movies are meant to make a profit. Let's not make a mistake of that, right? They are meant to make a profit. So if they want to make a profit and only putting on streaming service, then they're going to have to drop the amount of money that they spend to make these movies. And we're going to get less quality movies, right? So I'm hoping the theater don't die. But again, another thing too is with people not going to the theaters themselves are struggling to stay afloat, right? It's not just the fact that, oh, they want to put them out, but the theaters themselves are struggling to
It's
stay
inevitable,
afloat.
bro. Like I mean, I'm a nostalgia guy. I love it, but we all grew up going to the movie theaters. The people now that are growing up a different way, like with this virtual experience, they have a fucking iPhone in their hand the moment that they're a baby. They have tablets. They're stuffed full of ADD medicine and explosions all over screens. Like they don't have the same experience that we had. And the more technology changes, like it's just inevitable. It's not going to die out, but it's going to become less of a thing because it's just like electric cars. Like eventually it's going to be more electric cars than gas cars. Eventually it's going to be more, like technology changes things, like you can't go backwards once that shit exists. Like whether we like it or not, we can always go to the theater, but there's going to be less theaters. There's going to be less billion-dollar movies. There's going to be less of that stuff,
I can agree with that because me personally, I'll bring it to video games. Like I never thought I would ever fucking like download a video game. Like I'd always buy physical media, and then when I started downloading the games, I'm like, why am I buying physical media now? You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. The game comes out at midnight, and I get it at midnight. I don't have to wake up the next day, go to the store, and buy it and shit like that, or wait for it to get delivered. So
CDs,
right?
Yeah,
CDs
man.
and DVDs. I haven't bought a CD in like 10 years.
Exactly right. So things are changing, and just so you know, we're gonna close up in 5 minutes because Ashley's gonna be doing her stream soon. So if anybody wants to go over there, they can as well. But yeah, we'll close it up in about 5 minutes. But you guys are absolutely correct. So there may be a change. I don't want it to happen because I like going to see these movies in IMAX. I love going to the theater. You know what I mean? Theater popcorn. And when I went to go see fucking Suicide Squad, right? I went to it was one of the oldest movie theaters in Montreal, right? I haven't been to this theater since Empire Strikes Back when it first came out.
What?
Yeah, it's a really old theater. So I went in there, man, and I was like, okay, boom, boom, walked upstairs, and I was like, wait a minute, where's the concession stand? So I went over and I was like, downstairs. So I went downstairs, went to the concession stand. They had fucking nothing. I was like, okay, well, like you can, she's like, you can buy a drink. I was like, okay, give me a drink. And fountain drink, right? No, they gave me a fucking can of Coke, bro. I could have fucking went to the dollar store, picked up a can of Coke and brought it in my goddamn self, right? So they had nothing there in that theater. So I like to go watch movies, eat my popcorn, and have that good movie experience. And if they take that away, I'm gonna be like, yeah. But again, I do see the benefits of watching it at home too. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
They probably charge you $6 for that can of Coke too, didn't they?
$2.
$2? Okay.
Yeah, $2.
Oh, I just slip one in my pocket. I freeze it at home. Slip one in my pocket and just walk in the theater.
Yeah, that's what I should have did. Had I known that, I would have done that. I would have went to the store and bought one myself.
Except it wouldn't be a Coke, it'll be a Pepsi.
Yeah, Coke, Pepsi didn't
matter. Dr. Pepper, man. Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper's good. Pepsi is better than Coke, though. But with that being said, guys, we're going to close it down. Much appreciate everybody that came into the stream. I'm going to let you guys talk about your channels before we go. First off, Film Elitist already spoke about it, but talk to people about yourself again, sir.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Elitist Film. I'm not really doing anything with my channel right now, so I'm just going to plug that and let you guys do your thing.
No problem. Next up is Lantern. What's up, brother? Glad you could make it.
Yeah,
fucking Nolan lover.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Alex. There's a link to my YouTube channel. We talk about a bunch of bullshit on there. It's great fun. It's great.
Absolutely. Make sure you sub to his channel. I'll put his link in the description box for this video. You guys replay it, so you guys get that there. Jason Lee, talk to the people, sir.
What's going on? Jason Lee Tucker. Jason Lee Tucker Statement. I try to have fun on the channel. I usually have a lot of wrestling talk on there, indie wrestling, different things, pop culture, different things. I just try to do some fun stuff on there. Check it out. Appreciate it, Anzo, coming on.
No problem. And like I said, man, if you guys really want to go check it out, man, he does some wrestling stuff. He gives you updated information. Like I'm seeing all his posts of all these people getting released from WWE, and I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck they are. But if you guys follow it, he has some. He can let you guys know what's popping over there. Last but not least, my man Poe. What's up, Poe?
Thanks, Anzo, for bringing me on right now. And everybody here is a great YouTuber. Everybody should actually go to their channel, subscribe, check out what they have. I'm not a YouTuber myself, but you will see me in and out of the chats from time to time. Thank you, Anzo.
No problem. And Jess said the clover in your hat is in prison too. Yeah, that's because it's green. He has on a Celtics hat and it's just showing through. But yeah, it happens to me all the time. I had a hat with a green bottom of the brim and I can't wear it because every time I do this, it looks like the fucking picture that's behind me. But man, once again, I do appreciate you guys that came in. We had like 45 people watching, so I do appreciate all of that too. Make sure to check out Ashley's channel next because she is going to be doing a stream next. Should be fun over there, definitely. And once again, guys, peace, love, and hair grease. We are out.
Peace.